Jeez, look at that Team Eric.
I like that name.
A bunch of Team Eric there in the chat. What's up?
We have one dissenter I know we're going to hear from on the Team Eric.
Things first. Team Armand, Team Eric.
All right.
Thanks. Thank you, John.
Well, whoever's on my side,
Here
thank
to
you.
support Dave for the short time I can stay. Oh, well, good deal, Dave Robinson. Hello, everybody.
What's up, Abe, Karen, Schmeed, Jessica,
Boy, we got
Jordan,
some people in
David.
there
Boy,
today.
everybody's on board today.
Yeah. They were really excited about this, David. They were
the reason that flat Earth is so interesting and so many people are into it is because it's reality, and you guys are going to have your minds change. I don't want you to become flat earthers during the show. I want you to realize that there are things that you think you know that you don't know.
Okay.
I'm ready for it.
That's what the show's all about.
I'm very conspiracy minded. So I already there's a lot of things that you think you know that you don't know. And you and I actually align on a lot of beliefs, but when it comes to this one, we're just on opposite ends of the spectrum. I mean, if you look at my shirt right here, it's jet fuel oh yeah, you can't see me, that's right. Anyways, I'm very very conspiracy minded. So like, I'm there with you, but I just can't get behind this one, man.
Well, you know what? I was there. I did a show called Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole, just kind of like what you guys do for 3 years. And people started sending me flat earth stuff, and I couldn't get behind it. For 6 months, I ignored it. I wouldn't watch it. I looked at a couple things. I said, it's nonsense. And then I really took the time. Here's the issue, that we're all trusting people. We want to trust the world. We live in a world where we trust before we don't trust. And we're told lots of things our entire lives that we just go, oh, okay, and we're done. Like, did you guys know that I did 7 years of medical school? I got my MD, and then I realized that allopathic medicine was nonsense. And I threw all that away. I wasted hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I'm not going to be a doctor because the whole medical industrial complex is nonsense. Now, you guys could go, oh, do a bong hit, and you're done, all right? Or you can go, was he really a doctor? Did he really go to medical school? And it's going to take you days of research to figure it out. The truth is, no, I didn't go to medical school.
Damn, I was believing you.
Yeah, I know. So that's the problem.
That's the problem, yeah.
That's the problem. So we're told things and we just believe them. You have to trust and verify. Okay?
For sure.
And what you're going to find out, and then as we talk today, we're going to have disagreements. We're going to have agreements. Like at the beginning, we all hate Neil deGrasse Tyson. Fantastic.
Not me.
Start off on the
I
right
like him.
foot.
What are you?
I like him.
So things are going to fall into 3 baskets. Works on a flat earth only, works on a ball earth only, and works on both. Okay? It could work on either. So we're just going to remember which basket things fall in, and we're going to kind of keep a mental score as we go along.
Okay, I don't know if it'll be as easy as that, but I'm with you there. We can give her a shot on that.
We can hear the arguments. Sure. Let's
definitely. Yeah, and just
listen.
So let's start it up because I'm like ready. I'm ready to rock.
All right, we'll give it another minute, and we'll be ready to go. How's the sound out there, everybody? Let's wait for a little. It's first time in the studio. I want to make sure. Clap test as we used to do.
Yeah.
Oh, the inaugural show in the new studio.
Yeah, man. I hate we've had some summit meetings all week in our office, and it's kept me from coming over here as much as I'd like to and getting everything technically ready. So I had to scramble all morning today to get some stuff moved in here whenever I could.
Now we can get a screen somewhere. We could.
No.
Yeah. Well, no. We're putting up.
Can't read it.
I'm buying TVs for all the studios, putting it all up. I got lighting bought, all kinds of extra stuff going in here.
Okay.
It's finding the time this past week.
Well,
has
hopefully
been
we'll have
nuts.
Dave back when we're
Always welcome.
100%.
Absolutely. Happy to come back already.
right.
You
Great.
guys, this is going to be a fun conversation.
Yeah.
We should talk
sure.
too, David. At some point, I run a radio station on yoradio.com called Rabbit Hole Radio. It has all kinds of conspiracy and paranormal podcasts. I don't know what your distribution is right now. I'd love to put you on there.
Look at him, always on the clock.
Hey, fuck yeah, man! That's what you gotta run, man.
We can talk about it. Let's get
It's beautiful.
through this one
Beautiful.
first.
All right, cool. Let's. Oh fuck, we don't have the. We don't have the theme music ready.
That's all right. We can insert that in the podcast.
Right. Then we are recording now, and you can start whatever you like, Eric.
Welcome to Surreal Talk, a look inside the world of cults, conspiracies, and the paranormal, a lineupmedia.fm production, and we are back.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show this week.
Hello.
Hey, Armand. New studio. Might sound a little strange. I don't know how it's going to sound on the podcast this week. Hopefully it sounded good. My tests sounded pretty good.
It's got that
We got some echoey in here,
Yeah, a
though.
little
rock.
resonance.
Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. But thanks for downloading. Thanks for tuning in. This week, we have a special guest on the show. We talked about it last week, maybe even a little bit before that. And actually, for maybe a month or so, we've been talking about
forward to this for weeks.
So we're welcoming David Weiss. Is it Weiss or Weiss?
Weiss.
David Weiss with the Flat Earth Podcast. We're going to talk Flat Earth all day today on the show.
Great.
So we've had this topic come up a couple times on the show.
I used to be a believer.
You used to be a believer.
Yeah.
So you did believe in flat Earth?
I used to. No, I totally did, man. I was into it.
so-
I was into it. You get down
You
that.
changed your
Not about
mind.
believing, guys. It's about knowing. Belief
All right.
is like faith. You believe in a religion. You believe in things that you cannot be proven, or have not been proven, and that's a belief. Knowing
so glad
is
you said
something
that.
else. So
Like global
Here we go.
warming, David?
that's a belief.
Thank you.
Yeah, Armand is a staunch non-believer in global warming for
That's
sure.
a religion. Yeah, that's for
That is
sure.
a religion.
Yeah, it's a religion.
Absolutely.
So is helio-nonsensical belief.
Nah, I don't know about
Okay.
that.
Well, convince us.
Well, it can be religious to a point, up until the point where, in my opinion, I could do the necessary steps to figure out if to figure out if the world is round.
Yeah, 100%.
Wait, by the way, I was you 4 years ago. I was like, there's a million proofs that the Earth is a ball. There's zero proofs that it's flat, and I can do it. But it's no need because it's been proven.
This is gonna be beautiful.
We
It has
were
been
all
proven.
there. Everett, this is fantastic. I'm glad I'm meeting you right now because this is it. Your life as you know it is over
Holy
as
shit.
of today.
I hope so.
Awesome. Thank
'Cause I'm
God.
sick of my life
let's
as
see
it
it.
is.
Let's-
yeah.
let's
Change
go.
me,
and
David,
by
please.
the way, I am not religious in any way, but when you discover the flat Earth, it changes who you are. It makes life better. I haven't been bored for a split second in 4 years. There's not 1 second of boredom. Life is so much more amazing, and you'll discover that as we go on. So,
How's your
sorry.
sex life, David? Did it help that? Because will it get me some chicks?
He's like, I'll believe anything. If
Yeah,
it gives a shit.
listen, I'm willing
You know
to
what?
listen.
It very well might.
Okay, all right, I'll keep an open
Well, good
mind.
luck with that, Armand.
Because here's the problem. Here's the problem. If you're dating, once you become a flat earther, you can only date flat earthers unless the person that you're dating, you think you can convert them to a flat earther, which is a
okay.
good chance. But
Jesus.
a flat earther cannot be with a glober successfully.
It's like
for an
Jewish
extended period
people
of
then,
time.
right?
I think there is a flat earther dating site, isn't there, David? I thought I saw that on the
There
internet.
certainly are.
Yeah.
It's
Did you know
It's
that?
getting there.
I
It's
did not
growing,
know
yeah.
that.
Yeah, they have their own dating
Flat
site.
Earther dating site.
You
What do
know,
they think of
the
next?
flat Earth meetups are really just dating meetups. You know.
So why don't we give him a chance to introduce himself?
Sure.
David, why don't you tell us who you are, what you do, plug your socials, and give us just an idea about what you got going on, man.
All right. My name is David Weiss. I have the YouTube channel DITRH. It's the initials for Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole. I mostly put out very short videos, 1, 2, 3, 5-minute videos, just to get people. It's like the crack dealer. Gives a little bit of crack out for free, a little bit, because you need nobody.
That's
is
how
gonna
my crack
spend-
dealer does it.
Our states are
Somebody
free.
that doesn't believe something or hates a topic isn't going to go watch a 2-hour movie on it unless you give them a little preview and it makes them hungry for more. And you watch another 5-minute video, and then you watch a 10-minute video, and then a 20-minute video, then an hour video, and then you're a flat earther.
He's not wrong.
That's how you started, wasn't it, Eric?
Exactly. That's I say he's not wrong on that aspect.
sense.
So
Yeah.
that's my
Completely
channel, DITRH. I have the Flat Earth Podcast. It just name as is. It's on all of the podcast platforms, and it's also streamed on YouTube. Not streamed. There's a YouTube channel, the Flat Earth Podcast. And that's basically it. I also have an app that will teach you about the flat Earth, and it's called the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac.
I'm downloading
Clock
now.
app.
All right,
So
I'll
you pop
download
this
that too.
You pop this on, and you can watch the sun and the moon go through its cycles and how the zodiac turns with the sun and stars. It's on Apple and
Google Play.
Google Play.
What was the
It's
name of
called
it again?
The Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. And now you're going to go, oh, he's in it for the money. It costs $2.99. The truth is,
Oh, wait.
I was willing to spend about $2,500 to $3,000 to make it for myself. I just wanted it as a tool. And it ended up costing multiple times more than that. I was going to give it out for free. I actually had it for free at the beginning. But it's an ongoing cost, expense. And so I'm selling it for $2.99 to try to recover some of the money that I put into it. People love it, and it teaches you about the flat Earth. Then it shows you your weather, and it shows you where the sun and moon are. It's cool stuff.
I'm going to buy that here in a couple minutes. Well, probably after the show.
All right.
But that said, I want to disagree with Eric. Or anybody that says it's not okay to make something for profit. If anybody has a problem making profit, I'd say they're a liar, because that's what life is about.
Right.
That is another meme or belief that the elite want you to believe, that anyone spewing the truth can't make money at it.
Hang with me here a second.
Support
I don't know.
9 a.m.
Just new setup.
Central Time.
I don't know. It's playing some sort of audio.
That's Tony.
Yeah, it's Tony. Why is it doing this? This is so embarrassing.
All right.
Okay, there. Jeez, man.
Yeah,
Sorry
so
about that.
that's a psyop
Talk
that
with an English-speaking ePlata customer support
Holy
agent.
cow. What is the deal with this?
To talk with a Spanish-speaking
We got to get
in
some
the
new
task.
engineers.
In the
I'm
task.
trying, man.
press 2.
Press 2.
This is so embarrassing.
Zodiac.
Is that
Yep,
it?
there
Is he
it is.
finished?
I think we should be good. Can you hear us, David?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, good. Wow. Sorry to kill your flow like that.
Yeah, no worries. And the truth is, if you spend all of your time, there's a channel, a friend of mine, Flat Earther, Jaronism, he does it full time, right? He has his channel monetized, and whatever he does to make a few bucks to support it, fantastic. Because I'll quote Owen Benjamin, if you know who he is. He says, "If you don't support what you like, it goes away."
It's true.
So if you like something, support it.
Totally agree with that.
Hey, can we ask everybody just keep it civil in the chat today? Because we're going to be really into the show. We're not going to have a lot of time to be, looking over there constantly to see what's going on. So if you could do that for us, that'd be great.
Oh, I'm watching today.
Oh,
So I'm going to keep an eye out.
And if anyone has a legitimate question, ask it in the chat or whatever. And you guys bring on your toughest questions.
I
and
actually-
we'll go from there.
I actually have an entire list of listener questions that I put out on the socials and asked for. So I figured we would get to all of their questions after our questions.
All right, and just also remember one thing. As I was making my analogy earlier, you can choose to believe something and you have the whole day free, or you can really research something. The nature of our reality isn't something you can learn in a Twitter snippet, 240 characters or whatever it is.
Or a
there's
2-minute
lots
video.
of visuals to understand it. Me explaining it, I could do a pretty good job, but putting it into an instructional video makes it a lot easier to understand. So there's videos out there, like if you want to learn about flat Earth, it's going to take you 100 hours, right? If you become a flat earther before 100 hours, you might be a little gullible.
Here's one problem I had with that too, David, when I'm doing some research on flat Earth myself, because I wanted to come into it with an open mind and read the theories and whatnot, but there's so many flat Earth theories out there. How do you wade through what I guess is the real flat Earth?
Yeah.
Yeah. So here's the question is, what's the real globe Earth? If you get into it, there are flat earthers that believe in the extended plane and multiple rings in an enclosed dome with nothing beyond it.
Right, the firmament.
We don't know these things. We're not allowed to go there. All we can tell is the reality of where we live. And we could do actual science to prove that we're not on a spinning globe. Anything above the Earth plane is speculation. Planets, you don't know if there's a light close to us, if they're a solid rock far away. We don't know anything other than there are lights in the sky.
We do know that anything above is not speculation, because we have hundreds of astronauts and people that have been in outer space that we can rely on their testimony and witness and
that
film.
is a religious
that would be
belief.
able to,
That is a religious belief. You
how
are
is that?
believing.
Hang on. How is that a religious belief?
Because have you been into space?
So hang on now. We're going under the premise that if you haven't seen it or done it, it doesn't count, right?
Not exactly. No, not true. But
Okay.
if you really get into NASA, like on my channel, I have a NASA hoax playlist.
I know all about
and
NASA.
You can see on the International Space Station that they're hanging from wires, that they're using multiple layers of CGI. There's so many mistakes on the International Space Station. It's unbelievable. I mean, you can't believe how they can screw up that much.
Is there a video out there that can kind of highlight and bring some of these, like enhance the image, so to speak? Because I've never noticed it. I've watched tons of what I figured.
Of them. On our Facebook page, The Flat Earth Podcast, click the videos and then scroll down. There's hundreds of videos there now. And they're all, just find the one that looks for your question. There's a couple near the top. and let me list them for you. Flat Earth, the Ultimate Litmus Test is a good one. It's an hour and 15 minutes. Hibbler Productions and Scrawny to Brawny are two channels that have done some documentaries. And another one is Flat Earth. 21 questions. Why am I spacing on my favorite video? A Stranger's Guide to Flat Earth, 21 questions. Before you start spewing, watch this, because it's going to be the first 21 questions you ask. All the questions you guys are going to ask me are answered in that video
All
in
of
2 or
them?
3 minute answers.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure of it.
So theoretically, though, if I had a telescope, assuming there is a space station, I should be able to see it, though, through my telescope, or would that be some sort of optical illusion? Or if or you can't you can't.
So let's talk about that. Let's talk about that.
Okay.
Would you say that the building of the space station in space is probably one of the greatest technological accomplishments of mankind?
Pretty
It's up
close,
there.
next
Well,
to CERN. Yeah,
it's the
pretty
most
close.
expensive. I know that.
So we're in the vacuum of space.
Right.
We're falling around the Earth at 17,500 miles per hour. That's why the space station doesn't fall to Earth. It's
Correct.
still
I
in
wouldn't call it
gravity,
falling,
but
but yeah.
it's going so
It's in
fast
free
that
fall,
it's
yeah.
falling around the curve.
Correct. Yes.
It's falling around the curve, which
That's
is it's just a theory. It's a theory. So
True.
so when they bring up all the modules up there, are the astronauts that are floating around putting them together? And don't you think that mission control would have like 100 cameras on it, telling them, all right, move it over here and connect this to that? Of course, they
Who
would
says they
be-
don't, though? Who said they
There's
don't?
0 videos or pictures of the space station being built. Zero.
But why
Zero.
why are they required to show us building of the space station? And why would they think that
Why
they have
wouldn't?
to?
Why wouldn't they?
But I just
Yeah,
don't
why
understand.
wouldn't? There's 0. It appeared in the sky one day. They said they were building it, and all of a sudden,
Thank
there it
you for
is.
calling.
But if
Oh,
you watch
what in
it,
the hell
just
was
Google-
this?
Yeah.
Sorry,
Here's the
David.
thing.
Are 9
People that
a.m.
are
to 5
listening,
p.m.
and
Central
it's
Time.
Wait a
Your
minute.
call may be
Hold on,
David.
and monitored.
I have no clue why it keeps doing
We're having
this.
another same thing again.
It started out of nowhere. I touched no buttons. Okay, that should put it away again.
Well, I mean, so is there footage of the building that we're in being built?
Yes, absolutely.
Well, I mean, for instance, there are like the Arch.
Talk with a
You know, there's
Spanish-speaking
videotape of.
customer
We're in
support
St. Louis,
agent.
David,
Press 2.
and
Yeah.
there's extensive video of the Arch being built. That is true.
Sure.
Okay,
But you're
at the
sure
same-
there's no video whatsoever? I don't know. We can check on that.
At the same time, though,
It would be curious
the
if
Arch,
that's true.
this building, your house, while there may be videos of those, they are not in the vacuum of space. So, I mean, I would assume that the task is a little more difficult once you get out there in the vacuum of space.
You're thinking. I don't. Look, by the way, I don't mean to step on anybody. It's hard to tell who's talking it sometimes.
For sure.
But if you're saying that because it's in the vacuum of space that they can't video it, so the
No, that's not at
astronauts
all
are
what I'm saying.
Floating around on their own in their spacesuits, and they're putting this thing together without anybody monitoring them.
No, that's not at all what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that why are we expecting them to have footage ready for us to view whenever they built that? No one was talking about the flat
Because
Earth,
we paid
man.
for it.
Well, right. At the same time, but
Yeah, and
did
so
we
do you think
request
they
this
threw
footage
it
being
out?
built before it happened? I mean,
You know they got footage of it though.
So there's 0 footage. There's 0 because it's fake. There is no space station.
I'm gonna have to
There's
verify that.
0.
Yeah, I don't know.
All of the telemetry and photographs from the moon, all the telemetry data from the moon, lost.
Yeah, that's
okay?
true. Yeah.
They lost it. And wait, and the official story was they were having a budget crunch, so they taped over it.
That's
Isn't
what
that
they said in
silly?
the beginning. Yes, that's what they said in the beginning. Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
like to establish, David, besides the flat Earth, obviously, what are your claims as far as other celestial bodies, like the moon, etc.? Are they there, or are they not spherical? Or
They fakes too.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, this is again. We want to try to. I'm going to answer the question,
Okay.
but we want to stay. Anything
All right.
that's in the sky is speculation.
True.
But
I
you
got-
can do tests to see what's going on. The moon. There's been times where you can see a star through the dark part of the moon. All right. Does that mean that the moon is transparent, or does that mean that the star is in front of the moon? It could mean either. We don't know because we can't go there.
I've never
But
seen
here-
a star through a moon.
I know because you haven't looked. So
Well, I don't have a telescope, that's
here's
fair.
here's a thought experiment that you can actually do. Get a bunch of just imagine a bunch of cotton balls. You hang them all at a certain level in your room. So they're a cotton ball every 5 or 10 inches. Okay,
Right.
and so these are clouds floating on the cloud deck in your room, and then you get a spotlight and you hold it 100 feet above it and you shine down, you're going to light up all of those cotton balls, right? You're going to light up the whole room.
Right.
Then you bring that light right down over them, maybe just a couple inches over them, and it's only going to light up the ones that are
Just
around
a few
it.
of them, yeah.
Next time there's a full moon, which is, check out your app, the full moon's coming up, and there's clouds at night, watch them. Only the clouds underneath the moon are lit. All of the other ones are pitch black. That tells you that the light that we see is close to the moon, okay? You know how when you were a kid driving in the car and you would tell your mom
hang
or
on, I got
dad,
a rebuttal for that. So what you're telling me is that the light source has to be close to the moon because, it's only...
No. I'm saying that the moon is the light source.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. Because the sun shines off the moon, and the moon dust is actually like, man, I can't
That's
remember.
not what I'm saying at all.
8% more refractive than what?
That's not what he's saying.
Oh, well, what are you saying?
He's saying this, he's not saying that the moon reflects. He's saying that the moon is the light.
Exactly, and I'm saying the same thing. It's just not what he's saying. He's saying that it is the light source producing its own light. I'm saying it's the light source, but it's from the sun bouncing off of the moon, and the moon's reflectivity is what's causing...
Well, that's the popular opinion, but that's not what he's saying.
And by the way, that's your opinion. This is my opinion. But you have to look at the facts. Take any sphere, light it up with a single source light, and what you will see is a hot spot on that sphere with fading light going around. But then tonight, go out and look at the moon, and it's lit edge to edge. The whole thing is lit the same amount. It's a glowing light. How about this? The moon is how far away? You guys, in your heliocentric religion, how far away is the moon?
240,000 miles average.
Yeah,
I got a
300,000
rebuttal for that too, though.
Right.
You just
You
said
know
it
what?
yourself. The closer...
Let me finish. Okay.
You guys are good. Most people don't even know. 238,000 miles away. So you have a dusty, dirty rocky ball. We've seen the astronauts on the moon. It's dusty, gray ball.
Sure.
And you're lighting it up with a single source light. That light is reflecting off the moon, going 238,000 miles down to the Earth. And on a moonlit night, I can read the newspaper by it, and it's casting shadows on the ground because it's so bright. If you guys look into science, you ever hear of the inverse square law?
Of course.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. So light... Every time you half the distance, it gets
quarter power.
brighter or 4
is
times
powerful.
weaker.
Correct. Yes.
So you're looking at the light. I don't know how many lumens is it. We'll call it 100 lumens. Okay, that you can read it. It doesn't matter if it's 10, 100, or 1,
Right.
or it
Billion,
doesn't matter.
yeah.
And
I think-
keep having
yeah.
the distance. By the time you get to, I think it's 100 miles or 1,000 miles from the moon. I forget the number, but it's like 240 million lumens. It's so bright it would dissolve your brain. Okay, but none of that's the case. And then if you look at the astronauts, they took a picture of the moon on the way there when they could still take a picture of the whole thing, but they were very close. It was dull, dirty, rocky ball.
Right.
Makes absolutely no sense.
So what is your theory then? I still...
So we don't know what the moon is. The moon literally is...
But it does exist, and it casts its own light. That is what
this
you're
is what you guys
asserting.
believe. You guys believe that a rock in space controls women's reproductive cycles. That the rock in
I don't know
space...
about that.
That's pretty far out there.
Well, women's their cycles go with the moon. On a full moon, people act differently. Just talk to emergency room
Objection,
doctors.
speculation, though.
That's
on that.
true, but that's a religion. I would consider
These
that a
are
religion.
observations.
Yeah, that's a
but-
belief, not a...
It's a,
Yeah, but here's the thing. The light patterns on the clouds, that suggests that it's close. You can't say how far away it is. The Apollo program, NASA, is the only reason for NASA to be here is to make us think that we can live on a ball elsewhere, okay? When we're not.
Well, that was the question I always have, David, because, as far as everybody that listens to this show knows that I'm a big global warming let's say skeptic, doubter,
crazy man.
Maybe,
Sure.
right? But
Same page.
But the thing about that is, I know there are people making a lot of money off it. So what would be the impetus for people to fake all this? That's because I'm looking for who gains, key bono. You know what I mean?
That's a big question,
right?
What if so we basically live on a farm. To quote Max Eigen, we are being farmed on this world, and we are slaves for the elite. And they educate us in their Rockefeller-funded education system, where they give us just enough information to be good little worker slaves for the corporations. They don't. They teach us, old math. They don't teach us sacred geometry. They don't teach us vortex mathematics. They don't teach us what one day might empower us to question their authority. If you don't know who you are right now, you guys think that you are an insignificant speck of dust, that a lightning strike made an amoeba that turned into a fish, that climbed out of the water, that became a monkey.
Yeah, that's
the
the
monkey
truth.
farted, and here you are. That's the Big
true.
Bang Theory. Okay. And you're on a spinning speck of dust in an infinite universe with trillions and trillions and trillions of other spinning specks. It removes the power, when the truth is we are here in the center of creation, and all of the heavens above are rotating around us. The universe, that's a bad word, is rotating around, and we are the center of creation.
So you're saying that it's more or less the powers that be to trivialize us and to make us feel insignificant.
So there's really no point in it then.
Right.
No, there's a huge point. If we are in fear, like of an asteroid hit, of nuclear war, a whole nother topic. When you're in fear, you give your power away. So they're keeping us in fear with all of the crap that they put out there.
Well, I think we agree on that.
But
they're
asteroids
making
do hit.
False arguments for us to continually fight red versus blue, black versus white.
Right.
All of the stuff. They're keeping us, afraid, giving away our power, thinking we are an insignificant speck with no consequences for our actions.
Right, but what is the end game in making us believe the Earth is flat?
I think what you say is power. They keep a power over us.
What would
They
that?
keep the power over us because
So
if
it's a
everybody woke up
2,000-year
tomorrow
lie?
morning to the flat Earth, if everyone woke up tomorrow morning, the elite would lose all their power. But there could be more land within our southern oceans. There could be other worlds beyond the shoreline of Antarctica.
There are in the.
Are you
in the
are you
galaxy.
claiming though that the universe, for lack of a better word, as you say, is much smaller than there aren't trillions of galaxies and stars, etc.?
So the best way I can describe the flat Earth is the flat Earth plane is the basement of the universe. It is a stationary flat plane. Everything above the Earth rotates around a center point that we call the North Pole. Okay. And that's a magnetic North Pole. Okay. All of the stars are rotating around it. So you have Polaris right above the North Pole. You with me?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So the Earth is spinning how fast?
12.5, I think.
1,000 miles an hour, right?
Yeah, roughly
at
1,000 miles an
at
hour.
its
Very good.
equator.
1,000 miles per hour. How fast is it orbiting around the sun in a second motion?
Boy,
I'll tell you.
Okay.
6 that you can't even comprehend.
Right.
Okay. Not only are we spinning, going around at 66,000 miles per hour, we're chasing the sun. The sun is going at 600,000 miles per hour. Okay. So we're corkscrewing through space at ridiculous speeds. By the end of this conversation, we will probably have traveled over 1 billion miles. However, all of the star constellations that have been around since time in memoriam are exactly the same every year. Is that
Are they
saying
not
that
traveling
we're
with
flying
us?
through space, or that these fixed stars are orbiting around us, and the wandering stars, also known as planets, are making their spiral graph loops inside of that
You just
system?
said it yourself. So our sun's a star, and our sun's moving with us, right? So what would be ignorant of us to think that the rest of the stars out in the galaxy aren't moving as well?
So hang on, you're a little program there. When you say a star, you're referring to a gigantic burning ball of hydrogen.
Exactly.
I'm saying that is
And
not what
and
the
helium
sun is.
and among other things.
Okay.
And again, that's a religion. You have no proof of that whatsoever. I don't think the sun that we see, that's very important, is a physical object at all. It is more like a projection, for lack of a better word, inside of what we call our personal atmospheric dome. And so, remember when you're in a car and you say, "Hey, Mom, the moon's following me," and she called you an idiot? Well, it is following you because we all see the sun and moon and stars relative to our own position.
All right, then I have a great question for you. So if the moon and the sun, or if the sun and the moon revolve around a central point, which is right above the North Pole, then why, when we see the sunset, does it not go away from us and get smaller as it's setting. Instead, we see it go straight down over the horizon. If it was rotating like that over the top of a plane, over like a plate, a dinner plate, we would see that sun setting away from us. It would get smaller as it set. It does not do that. It stays the same exact size in the sky all the way down to the horizon.
No, it doesn't. So I'll explain that. What are you doing there, Everett?
I'm simulating. Sorry,
I blew his mind.
Yeah.
Trying to make a sextant out of his hands.
And people that are listening to this, we've done a lot of videos on my channel, DITRH. There's there's a sunset playlist which shows you that what we see is this.
Hold it, David.
the hell?
Hold it.
Our support hours.
I didn't touch anything. I
Unplug
swear to
the
God,
mic.
dude.
Something's crazy here.
I can't unplug it because that's going to kill it.
Or monitor
I have no clue where this file's coming from.
insurance
Turn your
purposes.
volume down.
Boom. We'll mute it for a second, but we're not going to hear him while I've got that going. Again, sorry for this, David. I'm deleting everything off this computer after this. I swear. It's being formatted. Oh, it's
Don't
still there.
delete the good porn.
I think it's a
I don't have any
conspiracy.
porn
You're
on my
trying to
computer.
shut poor David up.
I swear to God, I'm
He is.
super
This
interested
is
in
Everett's
this.
fault.
No
He's doing
coincidence.
this shit on purpose.
So I'm going to try to describe the sunset, but I beg you, go watch the Sunsets on the Flat Earth playlist on my YouTube channel.
Definitely.
Okay. So when you watch an airplane fly into the distance, it goes from overhead where you have to look up at it like this, and in no time you're looking straight across the plane. Everett, you got to look at me and focus when I'm talking.
Sorry, I'm still trying to figure out the fucking audio
I'm
file.
looking you right in the
One
eye,
more
David.
time. I got you.
Yeah,
All right. So airplane above you, and you watch it go, and it goes, and now you're looking straight forward. Where if you drew a line from your eye to the airplane, it's parallel with the flat Earth, and that's simply due to perspective. If I was in Vegas in a long hallway, and you got the lights, and the lights come down, and they merge with the floor. And the hallway is like I'm not
Feels
even
long
a
enough
tenth of a
hallway.
mile.
Yeah.
Right. And that's due to perspective.
Right,
But
of
if I zoom in with my camera, I can see it. It'll open up and they'll get bigger and bigger, and I could just keep zooming down the hallway. And if that hallway was 100 times longer, I'd still be able to see with a super zoom camera all the way down to the end. But then you have yourself, a terrestrial observer. You have a celestial in the sky object. So as that thing goes away, it drops due to perspective. However, we have a atmospheric deck in between us, okay? A cloud deck, or just the density of the atmosphere, which is not transparent over a long distance. And as that cloud deck squeezes into the horizon, it becomes opaque. So anything that goes behind that deck sets as it moves away, and it looks like it's going down, but it's going up. Now, to your point about the sun remaining the same size, it doesn't. Sometimes it gets bigger. Sometimes it gets smaller when you're watching a sunset. Most sunsets are viewed where there's tons of moisture in the air. The lower you are, the more moisture there is. And that, as the sun's going away and shrinking, it's also getting magnified. There's hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of videos now out there showing how the sun looks like it's going behind the curve, but it's not. It's going behind the vantage point. If you look forward at a 45-degree angle, you're going to see about 6 feet in front of you, and your vision's going to stop when it hits the floor, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
Right?
I can verify that.
You swap that angle, and you look up at 45 degrees. Your vision's going to keep going. So we can see your vision's going to stop when it hits the ground, which is going to be almost at your eye level. However, if you're up a little higher, you're going to see farther. So things disappear just because they're going behind the point of convergence. It's optics. It's the way our eyes see. It's the way the atmosphere is set up. And there's many reasons for sunset. On my video, DITRH, Fool on the Hill Sunset. Watch that. And it was filmed. We have several of them that are filmed over on a high plane where it's dry and cool. And what happens, and there's no land features in the back that will eclipse it due to perspective, and the sun shrinks to a dot, and before it disappears into the thickness of the atmosphere.
Now,
I also one more thing.
Yeah.
I also have a playlist called Sun Fade Out, and it can only be filmed with these four situations: super dry, cold, super clear, from high elevation, and with a 4K camera. So I have a drone, and there's only a couple days a year that we get this opportunity. And you watch the sun; it shrinks. It's dropping. It looks like it's dropping down, and then it gets right above the horizon, and it stops. and then it moves away, and it shrinks and it shrinks until it gets absorbed into the thickness of the atmosphere.
I feel a little unprepared here. I wish I had seen this beforehand so I could rebut it. Without seeing it, I mean,
Well, here's the problem. Here's the problem.
is your footage?
If you prepared, you would not have this conversation right now because it once you look at this stuff and take the time, you will see that everything you think you knew, you don't.
Okay, let me ask: do you believe this, that the sunset is, the atmosphere or the sky is red because of the change in the variation in the light waves coming in instead of overhead, where
the refraction.
Yeah, we're right, Rayleigh scattering, et cetera. That's what would cause that then?
It's shown that, first the idea that light travels for billions and billions of years and billions of miles is nonsense.
What?
The sun is.
Hang on, you got to stop. I got to stop you right there. How can you say that light can't travel for billions of years and it's nonsense?
Because it's a belief system. There's zero proof of it, and I don't think billions of miles or billions of years exist.
We actually do have proof of light traveling, at least from the sun to us, which is 8 light seconds away. It takes 8 seconds.
8 minutes.
8 minutes. It
Eight
takes
minutes.
8 minutes
All
for
right,
it to
so
get here.
Again, that is a religious belief. Okay, that the sun is. By the way, thank you for bringing that up because that's my favorite one to talk about. And by the way, everything you've asked so far is in the video called "The Stranger's Guide to Flat Earth: 21 Questions" on our Facebook page, the Flat Earth Podcast. But the sun. So let's just talk about the sun. You say the sun is 8 light minutes away.
Correct.
So now, so let's go with this. You know those big yoga gym balls? They're about this big, right?
Yeah.
Those big blue balls. That's the sun.
I got it.
Okay, in the heliocentric model.
too.
And the Earth is a pebble right next to it. Agreed?
sure.
Yeah, the size is about
so we're,
right.
So,
yeah.
so we're on the pebble, and we're going to put this ball literally a quarter of a half an inch above the pebble. Okay, we're just going to say it's right there. So you're on the pebble, and you look up. What are you going to see?
Nothing but sun.
The sun, nothing but sun. Very good. So now we're going to move that sun 93 million miles away. And it went from filling the entire sky to the size of a dime held at arm's length. Agreed?
No, it's perspective. I mean,
Wait, hold on. It shrank due to perspective from the entire sky to the size of a dime at arm's length. Correct?
yeah.
Yes.
We're all in agreement on this.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So what if I doubled that distance? How much smaller would it get? Would you be able to see it? I'm going to make it easier. If I 8 times the distance, could you see it?
Sure, you can see the sun from like Pluto or anything.
So,
would be a
hold
dot.
on. That's
It would be-
another religious belief.
Well,
I
yeah,
want
I've
you
not
to
been
think-
out on a
stop.
probe,
You have to wipe your belief system out of here. We're
it's real
talking
difficult to do
about,
there, Dave.
Yeah, I mean, this is actually just recognized science, and this is you know what I mean. So
No, I mean he's right. I've not gone out on a probe. For me, it is almost religious.
Yeah, we
So
are taking
I'm,
some
I'm
things
suspending as
completely
much disbelief as I
100%
can.
religious.
At face value, we are taking this, yes.
Everett.
Yep.
I'm not. We're talking about. You can do this experiment yourself. You can take a ball and move it. I have a video on my channel that I did this exact experiment, but went from the entire sky to the size of a dime held at arm's length. That's a huge reduction. If we went 8 times farther, it's going to get smaller. It doesn't stop getting smaller. It would disappear. Would you agree?
Well, be
Possibly. Let's try it with my phone in the camera.
okay.
So right up front,
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
You're blocked
so
out.
There it is. It's filling the whole sky.
I'm at about 2 inches from my camera here. I'm going to move it out
Okay,
to say
now go,
10
now go.
inches.
And now its angular size is shrinking. It's now a quarter of the size. Go ahead.
I'm going to take it as far as I can away. It's going to be roughly,
ahead.
say, 60
Right,
inches.
It'll
I'm
be
measuring
no
it to the size
equivalent
of the screen. So
to 93
it was
million
filling my
miles.
whole screen, and now I can fit 150 of those on my screen. And how far away are you?
Roughly 5 foot, we'll say.
All right, so if you went 10 feet away, I could probably fit 1,000 of them on my screen.
Roughly, I would say probably even more than that.
Okay, so you agree that things keep getting smaller. 8 times that distance. Anybody with an adult mind will agree it's going to disappear. Its angular size is going to get too small for our eye to resolve, even if light could travel that distance. Guess what? That's a light hour.
yeah, that's right.
8 times the distance is a light hour.
Correct.
We're told that we can see other stars that are similar to our sun that are hundreds of light years away.
we can't without the help of telescopes.
Yeah, we can
and
see stars
satellites.
every night when you look outside.
Yeah, but hundreds of millions of light years away.
Billions
No,
with the
I never
telescope.
said
With
that.
your
I
own
never
eyes.
said that. I said I said light years away. So let's just call it 1 light year.
Okay.
You know how many more times? I mean, I'm talking a light hour. You cannot. The sun went from everything to the size of a dime with your arm stretched out 8 times farther. You're not going to be able to see it.
So that's your point. That
And
they're
that's
so
one
far
light
away.
hour.
There'd be no way we could see even Proxima Centauri, which is 4.3.
See, I would argue that it's not the size of the object that matters, but
It's
rather
the light coming out of
the
it.
amount of luminosity that it's putting
Yeah,
out. If
it's a
putting out-
nuclear reaction.
Do the math on the distance of those stars.
Let's do
and the-
this
and the
another way
brightness.
And the inverse square
Let's do
law.
this
would be
another way.
insane.
Here's my
So
phone
it-
again
Yeah.
with my light on,
Okay.
right up on
Pretty
there.
bright.
That's
Pretty
the
bright.
sun.
Go ahead. Fill in the whole camera. Bring it 5 feet away now.
Okay.
He is. He's getting
Just
there.
go 5 feet away. Now
Okay.
you can see the light, right? Well, let me turn the light off and see if you can still see the LED on
Turn
the
the light
back.
off.
Well, no. I mean, turn this off. Now you can't see that sun. But if I was to turn the light from the sun back on,
You can see
that
it all
sun.
day.
Yeah, but you're talking 5 feet away.
No, we just equivocated that to 93 million miles.
If an object that is, the size
How
of the
is
sun,
that
it doesn't
equivalent
matter.
to 93 million miles.
because we took the scale down. That
It doesn't-
that's
you
what
don't
did
even
that
go- you
experiment
have to
here.
take that
That's
10
not my point I'm making.
miles away.
My point is making is it doesn't matter if the sun is 10 miles wide or 100 million miles wide, and the distance is irrelevant if it's bright enough. There's the equation has to take into account how bright the object is.
Yeah, because I think
Belief system,
they
religion.
say you can see the Luxor light from I don't know how many hundred miles away.
From
the
in
desert.
Vegas?
And it's not a very big. It's a very bright light, but it's not very big.
How many hundred miles away can you see it from?
I'm not sure, but they say from the sky. Now this is from the sky. That they
from
can
the
see
sky.
it. Yeah, as in a plane, you can see this light from
And
quite
do you
a
know
distance.
how far that is? It's not that far. They're 5, 10, 15
But
miles
it's very
away.
small too.
20
It's
miles
not
away.
a small. It's a very small actual. That's the tip of the Luxor. But
Yeah.
Here's a question I also have for you. You were talking about the North Star. Now, in 10,000 years, Polaris will not be the North Star due to precession of the Earth.
Religion.
Okay, so
religious
that's, we
belief.
don't buy that either.
You can't-
Has it always?
It's a
Has the North
religious
Star always
belief.
been Polaris?
Yes. Well, so this is what we're supposed to
They
believe.
say Vega
that-
will be the North Star in
So hang
10,000
on.
years.
That 45,000 years ago, or whatever, it was pointing towards Thuban or whatever it was supposed to
Yeah,
be pointing to,
right.
and
And
or
Vega-
whatever.
Vega
And in
will be
another
next.
45,000 years, it's going to be pointing towards another star,
Correct.
or 10,000 years, whatever
Right,
it is.
right.
But it happens to be that the time that we live in right now, it's pointing towards Polaris,
Right.
and it's exactly pointing towards Polaris. They tell us that Polaris is slowly moving out of phase, but in the last 60 years, it would have moved a degree or a little more or less or whatever it was. It
Arc
hasn't
seconds
moved.
or whatever.
It hasn't moved.
So you don't
It's-
think there's
it's
so
always-
this wobble that we call precession is another?
No.
Is just something else. Another.
That's only globe earthers believe that.
It's a
Right.
religion. It's
Okay.
a religious belief.
So Harris, you keep saying religion. Are you
Religion
gonna-
is when you believe something without any proof, just because somebody told you.
How about gravity itself? Now, is that more? Would you
So
consider that?
if
or-
you look at if you look at the high priest of scientism, Neil deGrasse Tyson, and other scientists, they say that gravity is an unproven theory, which is true, and they don't know how it works.
True.
And to make it almost work, they have to add like 90% dark matter, which
Right.
has never been seen or observed. It's a religion.
Sure.
And it's nonsense.
Well, have you ever heard the
but-
theory of the electric
Nah.
universe, though? How about the electric universe?
So hang on, let me finish my answer. The gravity of the Earth can hold oceans, billion trillion pound oceans, and cruise ships to the bottom of a spinning ball, but a butterfly can fly away.
That's inertia
helium
right there.
balloon.
Yeah, that's inertia from the world spinning.
So
Inertia.
if any of the water
Inertia
itself had
holds it on.
wings, if any of the water had wings, it had way to propel itself, it could lift itself up.
Totally could. It just doesn't have wings. It's not alive.
Right. So let me ask you a question. Everything is drawn towards the center of the Earth.
Right, the center of gravity of an object.
Correct.
The,
In this
the
case, the Earth.
center, the very center of the Earth, everything's
Technically,
drawn to it.
we're all drawn to each other as well,
Right.
being massive objects.
Right.
We
And
all
we're-
have
right,
gravity.
and the center
By the
of
way,
the Earth is drawn to us,
that's a
too.
religious
That's
belief.
religion.
That's
Again,
not,
going
a
by-
religious belief, though. That's actually
Eric,
just
you-
accepted science.
No, we did
No, it's
we did the
not.
episode, The Science of Religion, ourselves, and we on that episode, you
the
yourself,
religion of science.
whatever, the religion of science. If we haven't tested it, he is completely right in saying it is a religious belief.
Right. It's a religious belief.
I'm not saying I agree at all, but he's not wrong.
Just think about this. And we're told that no matter where we are on the ball, we're on the top from our point of view, and everything is being drawn to the center of the Earth. Okay. But even though when you're on Mount Everest, you're not standing at an angle being drawn to the center of that. You're always being drawn to the center of the Earth. So there's an atom at the center of the Earth that's like, hey, I'm the center. Okay, I'm the center. Everything must be drawn to me. But then there's another atom
No, that's
halfway
incorrect.
between. Hold on, let me finish my point. Halfway between the center and halfway between the cross. How come things aren't drawn to that? Does it go, oh, I'm not the middle, I have to go to the center? It's nonsense.
Because you have the wrong presupposition on that. So what it is gravity doesn't take effect until you have enough mass to create it. So
That's not
we're
true at
saying
all.
one atom. Yeah, it is. So you're
Everything that has mass has gravity. I don't care if it's an electron or a planet. They all have gravity.
but they're not going to draw together to become an Earth.
If they're
You're
close
not going
enough,
to be
they
able to
will.
have one atom that says, come to me. That's not the case. You're
Yeah,
not going to
you-
draw a whole planet worth of material to one atom.
Right. It's the same thing with light. Gravity has a effect. That, over distance, it is less. So when things are small enough to get close enough together, they will attract. But the closer they are, the more massive they are, the stronger the attraction. That's gravity in a nutshell.
Then
you
there's
guys brought up,
repulsion of
the
electricity,
electric
though.
universe.
Yeah, right.
So we live in an electromagnetic world. Everything has its electromagnetism. The Earth is filled with energy. There's etheric energy out there, free energy that we used to have access to, but now we don't. We're into
Religious.
dirty electricity.
Just saying.
Yeah, religious.
Well,
I agree.
I'm trying to establish what is religious, David. Though, do you think what we were taught in physics is that the
Basically,
force,
it's taking somebody else's word for it, not doing it
well,
yourself.
gravity, electromagnetism, strong and weak force. These are
So
all presuppositions.
let me tell you what can be tested and what can't.
Okay.
Gravity has never been tested, never been proven, and when they try to measure more than two or three body problem, it doesn't work in space. They can never get the calculation
Yeah,
right.
it's too complicated.
So hang on. Think about the flat Earth. Everything goes down because of buoyancy and density. This is what most flat earthers say. Okay, and I'm with it 99%. But I'm like, what establishes a down? Hold on. What establishes a down? The Earth has electricity in it. It has a static charge to it, and that can be measured scientifically. The higher you go, the higher the voltage goes, okay? There's a video on our channel that talks about that. So that establishes a down. Just like, remember how an old TV set would attract dust to it? The screen, you could see the dust get pulled to the TV. The Earth has a very weak force, an electromagnetic force that can be replicated in a laboratory, and you can create this attraction where everything
Like
can
static
be attracted.
electricity, how you rub a balloon on your head and stick it to the wall.
So that establishes a down, and then buoyancy and density sort everything out.
So how come we
Heavier
can't walk
will
on a
go
wall
below.
then? How come there's not enough of this static force? I guess it's because the Earth is so large that there's enough of this more, I'm going to call it static for lack of a better term, the static electricity type of attraction. How come there isn't other objects like massive, like a mountain that we can't walk on the side of? Is it just not massive enough to create that attraction?
Well, no, it's down. It's the down force. It's not gravity. It's nothing that's pulling you towards the mass. It just establishes a down, and down is down. We're on a flat, stationary plane. Down is down. Now,
Right, I agree down is a
again,
relative term. I'm just trying to wrap my head around exactly. Could you go over again one more time how this establishes down? I'm still a little...
So the electrostatic charge of
Right.
the Earth plane establishes a down. It has an attractive force.
It has
super
a
weak.
force and
super
a
weak.
direction, so it's a vector. It has
Yeah,
a force
so
and it has
We have
magnitude and
maglev
direction.
trains. We have
Right.
maglev trains that defy what? Gravity or electromagnetism?
Magnetism.
They're floating.
Yeah.
You can take a table and put some salt and pepper down or whatever, and get a piece of styrofoam and rub it on your body or whatever, and bring it over, and they'll all go up. Is that gravity or is that electromagnet? Is that static attraction?
Yeah, well, I think that's
Again,
magnetism.
you
Yeah.
can do 100 experiments that show that there is buoyancy and density and static attraction. There's zero evidence.
What creates
that
this
a
static
mass
attraction in our
attracts mass.
atmosphere? What creates this
Wait, sorry,
static
you broke
attraction?
up. You know what?
If it's
I
not
don't know the
gravity,
answer to that.
What creates the static
no,
attraction? I mean, because
You'd have to ask
I have an answer
whoever
for it. The
created
globe
this
has an
place.
answer for it. It's called the spinning liquid molten metal in our Earth. Just like an alternator will spin around a magnet and create an electric field. That's what's going on in the inside of the Earth that creates. I mean,
So-
Aurora Borealis at all? Anybody?
Well, what about
So hang on. Let me address that before we go on to another thing. So you're saying that the magnetic liquid center of the Earth is what's causing this?
well, the center's solid, I believe. The liquid core around it, there's a liquid core.
There's a
around
dynamo effect that
Yeah.
causes...
So hold on. The center is now solid with a liquid surrounding it.
Correct.
Is that what you're
Yes.
saying?
So says the
the
leading
current-
theory, right?
Current theory,
So
yeah.
this is 100% a religious belief.
Well,
you
don't
guys know.
disagree.
So let me explain why. And I'm
Why are
gonna
you
prove to
laughing? He's
why.
not wrong.
No,
Have you-
that's true. That's true.
So listen to this. You ever hear of the giant borehole? It's the deepest
Yeah,
hole
right.
ever dug.
7
it was
kilometers,
just
12
short
kilometers,
of
something
8
like that.
miles.
Yeah, not much.
And then we hit a impenetrable barrier. Impenetrable. Nothing can get through it. Okay.
Who said
but
it
on
was
the way
impenetrable?
down, they did ground radar and they used all their
Being so
technology to figure
aggressive.
out what was down there, and they were wrong the entire way down. All of the radar, there is ground radar that'll tell you what's down 20 feet or whatever, or it can see some things, but it got so many things wrong. Nobody's been lower than 8 miles, round or flat. So everything below 8 miles is 100% speculation. It's religion. I do not know, and neither do you. And neither
Okay, but
do
who
the
said it was
people that put it in
impenetrable?
your textbooks.
Down in that deep. Who said it was impenetrable? Is it that our technology can't get through it, or is it that it's actually an impenetrable object?
Impenetrable to the human race so far to date.
Oh, okay. Due to lack of technology, I assume. Is that what you're
We
claiming?
cannot get past 8 miles. Therefore, we do not know what's below 8 miles.
I was just David, a personal
The
question
turtle.
for you. You yourself said 4 years ago you were not a believer. I'm just wondering what exactly changed your mind, and was it gradually? You said 100 hours, or was there some epiphany, some moments that now it makes sense to me?
It's almost 5 years now. I lost track, but it's been nonstop research, and I don't believe anything. It took me a while, and then I was
But
like,
you
okay,
believe the Earth is flat,
hold
though.
on, let me answer the question.
Okay.
There's something wrong with the globe. The globe doesn't make sense. Okay, and it's been 4 years, so the globe doesn't make sense, and but I'm like, I don't want to say flat Earth, but we can see too far. Let's talk about it. Every ball, from a basketball to the globe Earth, has curvature.
Right.
Agreed?
Correct.
Okay. And that curvature has a formula that'll tell you how
8 inches a
distant.
mile.
8 inches, not 8 inches a mile, because 8 inches a mile is a slope. It's 8 inches per mile squared, because as you go, it starts dropping faster and faster. So you have
Definitely,
to
yep.
square the mile. So
Uh-huh,
if
for
it's 8
sure.
inches, 8 inches, 8 inches, 8 inches, we live on a ramp. Okay. It's 8 inches per mile squared.
Yeah, it's a
8 inches the
derivative,
first
yeah.
mile. 2 times 2 times 8 is 32 inches. So 3 miles is 6 feet of drop, and it drops off. And this is the agreed upon curvature calculator. And we can see things like Chicago across Lake Michigan. When the weather conditions are right, there it is in all its glory. We can see the Rogers Center across there. It should be well under the curve. We can see mountains in the distance.
Elevation.
Here's the problem, though. As I was talking about before, the atmosphere is not translucent that far. It becomes light can't get through it, and it just becomes sky at a certain distance. I was recently just down off of Puerto Rico, and there's an island called St. Croix, which is 50 miles away. And I have the Nikon P1000, the largest super zoom camera, consumer camera in the world, 125 times.
I've seen
zoom.
this video.
Yeah. No, well, you didn't see this video.
Or
and
one
I
similar,
zoomed
yeah.
in, and now all I can see is a horizon. I just see a horizon where the sky meets the water, and I can't see anything else. But I also have a P900, which was the previous model. It's only 87 times zoom, or 83 times zoom. Still a powerful camera, but I converted it to the IR spectrum, the infrared spectrum, and it can buzz through all of that light that's blocking my vision, and bam, there was St. Croix in all of its glory. All of the tall mountains, all of the low mountains. I could see all the way down to the shoreline when only the tippy tops of some of those mountains should be available. I can see the entire thing, but when I take the camera away or I look through the more powerful non-IR camera, it's gone. So are those mountains, floating in the air, because they're curving around the earth? No, I can see them because the earth is flat. The earth is 70% water. Water always lays flat, and that's it. It's flat. At 120,000 feet, we sent balloons up with non-fisheye cameras. It's flat, and the sun is close.
Okay, so what are the implications of this, vis-a-vis the Big Bang and the cosmic background radiation, et cetera? I mean, because this would make the universe much smaller and probably younger, right? Than what is
Yeah,
typically
that's the age of the Earth is the big question.
yeah,
And,
4.5 billion years is the accepted whatever 4 point.
well,
Six,
the
yeah.
accepted religious belief. It's a religion.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, but that's
According to
how
our
about
religion.
I'm gonna go on a limb here. There's no such thing as a billion years. It doesn't exist. It hasn't happened.
okay. Could it happen in the future?
I don't know. I
Okay.
don't know. I haven't been there. I'm here now. I think all of our history is a lie. There was a much higher technology in the 1800s than there is now.
So you-
and it was a
Really,
different technology.
I'm so glad you brought that up because in 1807 they started pioneering what was called a crow's nest on ships. So you know what a crow's nest is?
Yeah.
This was before everybody came out with the flat Earth thing, when it was accepted that the Earth was a ball. So they would go up into these crow's nests, and
When
the
was
reason
it
is so that they
accepted
could
that the Earth
see
was a ball?
further. They could see further.
Yeah. So I'm going to address that, but first I want to
Over the curvature.
question your religious belief on when did everybody think the Earth was a ball?
I mean, everybody still does.
No.
Well, I would say 2,000 years ago, roughly in Greece, is whenever they first started
Yeah,
mathematically being able to discern.
1800 years before, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So
well, the Ptolemaic
that's not for
universe
sure.
is-
Again, that's a religious belief, and we can get into that. So Aristophanes, you're
Aristophanes,
talking about.
yes,
We're
yes.
gonna
No,
talk about him.
Aristotle.
And then so remember that point. And then what was the other thing you said just a minute ago? The first thing.
The crow's nest.
Oh yeah, the crow's nest. So we're told that because the Earth is a ball, the sun or something will go behind it, but when you get up higher, you can see it.
Yeah,
Okay. So here's what they don't teach you in school: the angular resolution limits of your eyes. Everett, you got to focus.
I'm looking. I got you on another monitor over here. You're bigger. I'm looking at you.
Okay. So when I hold my phone up here, the angular size of it is it's close to 180 degrees. When I bring it here, it's getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and now it's maybe 15 degrees.
Sure, I get what
right?
you're saying, yeah.
Your vision. And as I go away, it's going to get smaller and smaller and smaller, and eventually it's going to get so small when it gets to around 0.2 degrees, your eye can't see it. Your eye doesn't have the right cells to resolve anything that this is true, a fact, science proven. Your eye can't resolve anything smaller than I think it's 0.2 or even, I think it's 0.2 degrees, whatever.
Whatever. There's a certain resolution you can't go below.
So the angular resolution limit of your eye. So that's when things get smaller. However, so we move a ship and it becomes so small you can't see it. But then you go up higher and guess what you're doing? So I'm looking at the ship inside of this limit. But when I go up higher, I've just increased the angular size of the ship. There it is. So we can watch ships disappear, and they say it's over the horizon, but then I can take my super zoom camera, zoom in, there's the entire ship again in all its glory. Hundreds and hundreds of videos on our Facebook page about that, showing it, demonstrating it, science, where it looks like it disappears behind the curve, but then it's there. I also have a video on my channel called Reds Proves the Ball. It's a NASA troll guy that it just says that because you can see the sunset twice by going up to the top of the Dubai Tower or whatever after it sets, that proves it's a ball. No, it just improves that you're increasing your angular size. I did an experiment, science, in my room. I had a light, I had a cloud deck, I had the whole thing. The sun disappears, and then I move the camera up, there's the sun again. It's that simple.
Yeah.
And now, what about and about the other celestial objects, say the moon and what we would call planets, Venus, etc.?
The planets used to be called wandering stars by all of the other advanced civilizations that were here before us, and they are lights in the sky. The only photos, there are no photos. The only images, pictures that were given of planets come from two sources. One of them more credible than the other, and that's NASA and Disney. And Disney's the more credible one.
But I've taken photos personally with my own telescope of Saturn.
Now go back and look at it, and what do you see?
I saw a blue blur with a blue line in front because I had a shitty telescope and a shittier camera.
Yeah. So we have super. Here's the problem. Consumer optics have outgrown their lies. When you look at Saturn, there's rings around it for sure. I see those rings.
Yep.
And you know what? It looks spherical to me. But it's a light. It's a light source. It's not reflecting light. It's a light source. Now Jupiter, it's got little lights that appear to be going around it. They may be going around it. They may be going back and forth in front of it, but they're lights. That's it. They're lights. We have no idea. Here's how the distance of the sun. You say the sun is 93
But
million
you can
miles
see
away.
you can see the shadows of those objects as they pass by, though.
Yeah, the shadows are
That would
circular.
you would assume at that point that they're
on a pool table, but the pool table's flat. Okay. Again, trying to prove the Earth is flat by saying what you see in the sky is not any way to prove the flat Earth. But there are ways to explain it. This is how the sun used to be 3 million miles away. Then it was 9 million miles away. Then it was 27 million miles away. And now it's 93 million miles away. And the way they figured out how far the sun is they assumed that the planet Venus was about the same size as the Earth, and they extrapolated the distance of the sun by that assumption first the assumption of the size of the Earth and the assumption of the distance and size of Venus, and then they extrapolated out of that the distance of the sun. All nonsense.
Really? So our instruments and as technology got better, you don't believe that the human race could have actually, came up with these calculations at all? Like I said, maybe science is a bitch sometimes if you watch Always Sunny.
No, it's an assumed size. There's no science of proving any of these things. The radius of the Earth is an assumption. It's an assumption. Yeah, nobody knows the radius of the Earth. Here, let's talk about the Earth. If you have your globe Earth, it comes down, and on the bottom is the continent of Antarctica.
Yes.
Okay. Nobody's circling around Antarctica or around its shoreline because it should take a month, but it takes 3 years. And Captain Cook is the last person that did it. I think the last person that did it. And he went over 60,000 miles, and it took 3 years.
I would say Captain Cook's full of shit.
Yeah, exactly. I agree.
I hate to use that kind of language about this, but there's no way it takes 3 years. I mean, I'm going to have to see. I'm making a list of stuff here that I'm going to check after we get off because it's really checking now. But
here's the problem.
Did you go around to Antarctica? If you didn't do it yourself, then it's obviously a religion.
No. I'm going off of his logs.
That's right. That's what we're going off of.
Yeah. So look at those, and if let's talk about now I can't speak.
Sure, it's fine. I get there all the time.
You got the globe, and down on the bottom of the globe is the tip of South America. Pretty close to it's pretty far down.
Close
there.
to the bottom, but yeah.
Chile.
Slightly off center, but
side, you have Australia. It's on around the same latitude, and it's pretty close down there. Okay, right here's the equator out here, but they're down here.
Sure.
So if you wanted to fly from Santiago to Australia, you can go across Antarctica.
That was a question I had too.
Yeah, no, I got the answer.
Or you can just stay on the same latitude and just go around that lower short circle on the ball. But that's not the plane routes that they go at all. Plane routes go from Santiago all the way up to the north, into the northern hemisphere, across America, over to Dubai.
Do you know why?
Back all the way down.
I can answer this right now. Why?
Let me answer it for you. It's safer. They need to get fuel. They need to pick up other passengers.
There it is. That's a business. Airlines are a business. What sense would it make for Uber to pick up one passenger whenever they could pick up 3?
What about the fact that there is a flight that doesn't go, I think it goes once a week or once a day, that is direct and it's full. Okay, you got a full flight of people that want to go from Santiago to Australia. Why do you need to go all the way up there? If it's a business, they'll take the short route.
I got an answer for that too.
Latitude, but they don't. And the reason is that big curved line on a flat Earth map is a straight line.
Let me tell you why they don't go there. Did you ever watch the movie Alive? Because that's the most desolate place on Earth. That's literally the most dangerous place on Earth. If you're not in Antarctica, you're in the 1,000 miles of ocean
I'm
around
saying speculation,
it.
Eric.
Well, what I'm saying is, why would they fly there? Why would they?
Because you save fuel and go directly across it. But what about the reasons of like the Earth's magnetic field? How
it'll be 3 weeks before you can get rescued.
That's what you posit.
Yeah, I mean, why would they?
So look, this is the flight route that they actually take. But this is the flight route on a flat Earth. Okay, that's the same route. It's a straight line. All of these flight routes these crazy flight routes they take, you map them on a flat Earth, they're straight lines. You know why? Because it's a business. It's a business.
Exactly.
Yeah,
what about
it's a business, so they're taking the shortest distance, a straight line. Here's another thing for you for plane routes, for plane flights. In the FAA manual, It says you treat the Earth as a stationary, non-rotating plane. Okay? Stationary, non-rotating plane. Because think about this. If you're on the equator, the Earth is 24,000 miles around, a little longer.
Definitely.
You're spinning at 1,000 miles per hour on the equator,
Yes,
correct?
sir.
We all agree on a spinning ball. But if you're in Alaska, right, your distance to the axis of rotation is much shorter.
Yes.
So you're really going about 300 miles per hour because you're making a much smaller turn. We all can agree with that.
That's right.
You're on an airplane. You're sitting on a runway. You're not moving. You're traveling 300 miles per hour as opposed to a speck in space. You take off. You increase to 500 miles per hour. You fly to the equator. How do you land on a spinning disc that's a spinning ball that's going 1,000 miles per hour? How do you catch up to it?
Because you're spinning with it. Just as you're traveling across it,
I'm spinning 300 miles per hour. Yeah. Where do I get that extra 700 miles an hour of acceleration to catch up to the speed of the Earth?
I would argue that you're drugged along with the Earth whenever you do that.
Exactly. You don't need that
through
700
gravity
miles an hour.
But
so
you don't believe in gravity, so there's no impasse.
Will you stop being so adversarial? I think Eric, you're being very adversarial here.
I'm just saying.
But no, that's a good question. Where does that extra speed come from? There's got to be, again, I don't know it, but I feel like there has to be a mathematical explanation for it.
Math is not reality, by the way. So let me ask a question. If you got $2 million in the bank and then you lend me $500,000, you give your buddy $500,000, how much money do you have in the bank?
Should have $1 million.
No, you don't have that. Math isn't reality. You don't have $1 million. You don't have $2 million. It's just math.
Well, if I had $1 million, what if it was cash then?
You can make an equation for anything. Equations are not reality.
What if it's actual objects though? If I had 10 apples and gave Eric 2 and Armand 3, I would have 5 apples.
Right, that's fine as long as you have those apples. What I'm saying is an equation can describe reality or it could just be an equation. There's lots of equations that are
that made no sense though, right there. Like because if you equate the apples to a dollar bill, it's the exact same thing.
It doesn't matter. What I'm saying is I can make an equation for anything. It doesn't have to be reality.
True, but it should be at least testable.
It's testable.
Yeah, well, so it's testable. Show me a way to increase. You're in Alaska. How do you get 700 miles an hour faster to land on a runway? How do you land on a runway, an east-west runway or a north-south runway? You know, these things are impossible.
Wouldn't they adjust the angle of the flight though to catch isn't that how they do it? I think that's how they do it.
How would
or at least they purport to do that.
I have no clue, honestly, how they do it.
Well, you don't go straight down. You don't go straight south. You go at an angle where you do actually catch up with the Earth as it spins. I think they take that into account.
That's actually not true.
Well,
you're assuming
that's what they tell us. No, that's what they tell us. I believe.
They don't tell us. They actually don't tell us that. But even if they did, if you flew at an angle, you're only flying 500 miles per hour as your airspeed.
Right.
I'll even let you add the 300 miles an hour that you were spinning before you took off. So that's 800 miles an hour. You get to the equator, it's going 1,000 miles per hour. How about this? Why are there wind currents above the Earth that are going 200 to 300 miles an hour?
The jet stream?
Yeah, the jet stream.
Why is it going 200 to 300 miles an hour?
I think it's because the heat and the cold and the wind, etc. And the spin of the Earth is what
giant differentials in pressure is what it is.
The North Atlantic current.
The spin of the Earth is the atmosphere spinning with the Earth.
Yes.
And then why is it going 200 to 300 miles an hour land speed? Why is that? Because the Earth is out spinning it?
The Earth is out spinning it. So there's friction to take it. Yeah.
Incorrect. That's a religious belief. The truth is the Earth, the major jet stream that goes up there is going 250 miles an hour on average faster than the Earth. It's spinning in the same direction the Earth is spinning. It's going faster than the Earth. It's outrunning the Earth. It's not lagging behind.
Really?
Well, he's got a point relative to it, yeah, because the jet stream does go faster than what you're spinning relatively.
It goes west to east, I believe, right? Doesn't the jet stream?
If you, I'm trying to find a picture to show you guys. If you look at these jet streams, they show us the jet streams. They go up and down, and then it swoops up again, and you got this big S wave where they're showing you these things. You convert that to a flat Earth map, perfect circles. Everything is a perfect circle.
I mean, I have to see that.
David?
But the speed though is relative. It's not like 300 miles an hour just straight out.
As compared to what?
Right. It's got to be from a fixed point.
Here is These are the.
That's your jet streams there. The red speed would be faster. The faster part of the jet stream, blue would be slower, I assume.
It's actually a heat map also, but
Yeah.
you can see what it looks like. These things spin in different directions too. One of them goes one way, one of them goes the other way, and at different altitudes, they're very consistent. And so the airplanes get in these jet streams and they use them to give them a tail speed to go,
Right.
to go wherever they want to go.
David, is there? I know you say there is a North Pole, correct? There is a North Pole.
That's the center, of the flat Earth model.
But is it magnetic north, or is it just a point that is actually?
Yeah. So ancient religions have all talked about Mount Meru. Not all of them. A lot of them talk about Mount Meru, a giant magnetic mountain in the north. Well, if that was true, it sure explains how a compass works. You got a compass.
I was going to ask, how does the compass work?
Compass points towards the magnetic north center, right?
At least on this
Thank you
hemisphere.
for calling ePlata.
Here it comes
customer
again with that
support.
thing. This is crazy with that thing.
Well, we're going to take 15 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, this is.
Your call may be
I literally I did IT for 20 years. I could find no other program running. I touched no buttons, and here comes this freaking file. I know this file exists on my computer.
I told you, Tony never shuts up.
This
Just
is
proves it.
Tony never shuts up.
Yeah, you can't shut that guy up. I do a show with him, by the way, David.
Press
He's
2.
my partner. But
So
yeah.
let's talk about the magnetics.
Yeah.
So you got, and again, this is something you can test scientifically.
And it's not true
You know,
north, correct? It's a little off. It's,
yeah.
it's not true north.
our magnetic
Again,
north fluctuates.
They're
Right.
trying to confuse you with this true
Well,
north.
that's what I'm
wandering
asking. Do you
North
believe
Pole.
that?
Just
Yeah. You don't believe that
a
either.
compass where I am always points to the same place for all of my life.
Okay.
So a compass always points to the north, which is right under Polaris.
Unless you're in the southern hemisphere,
That's what I was
by
gonna
round
ask.
by
No,
round Earth
There's
standards.
there's no compass that points to a south pole. They only point to the North Pole. And the truth is, when you get to Antarctica, compasses stop working. Okay?
You been there to
Pretty
test
much.
that?
No, but there's video.
Religion.
There's the guy that supposedly just crossed Antarctica, the Colin O'Brady. Again, there's videos on our YouTube page, on our Facebook page, that completely destroy his trek across Antarctica. But so you have a compass. So here my microphone is the North Pole, right? But if this was a magnet and I held a compass right here, the needle's going to point to the north, right?
Right.
So when I go west is not a straight line because my compass is going to turn. So
Right.
west is a circle around the center point.
Right.
This is true on a flat Earth and a ball Earth, okay? East is the same thing. I'm pointing to the north. I'm going to the east. East is a circle around the center point.
Right. They're parallel
Okay.
lines on a globe.
They're not they're parallel circles on a globe.
On a
You got-
globe, right.
So if you were 1 mile from the North Pole and you break out your compass, it's going to point to the North Pole, and you want to go west, the west is going to be a tight circle, and 3.14 miles later, you're going to have circumnavigated the North Pole.
Correct.
Okay, you went around it and came back. 2 miles, you're going to go around. 3 miles, you're going to go around. All the way down to the equator, you're going to go around. But anything north of the equator on a ball, you'd have to correct to the left, correct to the center a little bit, because any straight line. So here I'm pointing east, okay, and this finger's pointing north. If I go straight line, I'm now going south. I'm going south. I'm not going east anymore. What the fuck happened? I gotta turn. East and west are circles. Any direction away from north is south. That is south. That is south. That is south.
From true north.
That
Yeah.
is south. From the North Pole, from
Right.
the magnetic North Pole. On my channel, just search DITRH circumnavigation for dummies. Okay? Here's the problem. Billions of people have circumnavigated the Earth. They've flown to Japan.
That's true.
Some of them go over the middle or almost over the middle. You can take a shortcut and go over the middle, okay? Go over Alaska. Most flights go over Alaska when they're going to the Far East. So millions of people have done it. I've done it. Lots of people have done it. Nobody has circumnavigated south and come back. You know why? Because south is away from the center. If you look at my map in the back, it just goes away, and there's no way to come back. Nobody's ever circumnavigated the Earth south.
Okay.
And that's because the Earth is flat.
Okay, and there's the rub, I guess. The big question, I'm sure you've heard a million times: what's on the edge?
We don't know. We're not allowed to go there. How about this?
But is there an edge? There is an edge.
So hold on.
I don't know. I'm just asking.
Yeah, so we've been at war for how long? Forever. How many wars have gone on?
Virtually
There's wars.
forever.
Countries, we don't get along according to the mainstream news.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
All sorts of stuff is happening. But since 1957 or 1959, there's been a treaty with over 50 countries that say
Antarctica.
nobody, no corporation, no person, nobody can independently explore Antarctica, and you can't even question it until the year 2040.
I think that treaty actually says you can't own Antarctica. No one can take
No,
claim
you
to it.
can't. No.
Treaty, what's the name of that treaty?
It says that too, but you can't go there. However, hold
don't
on.
believe that.
You can't go there. There's about 15 tour companies that will allow you to go there. It costs like $10,000 to $15,000 just to go for a couple days. They're all owned by the same parent company, so it's really one company. Suspicious. And when you go there, you get a little tour of the edge. You get a little. They bring you to a little pole, and they go, "Hey, this is the South Pole." It's not. It's just a pole stuck in the ground. You get to see some penguins, and they send you on your way. Nobody can explore Antarctica. What the heck is going on?
So
down
the
there?
Treaty
And
of
the answer
Antarctica is freedom of scientific investigation in Antarctica that and cooperation toward that end. It's not that you can't go there. It's that
Can't.
it's not you can't own it, dude. You can't go there and stake claim to it and say this is America's land now. That's what they're saying. You can't own it.
I'm sure it says that, but you also can't go there. So again, to really find out why you can't go to Antarctica for the physical reasons and the political reasons, it'll take you 1,000 hours of research. However, a bunch of us, one channel called Taboo Conspiracy, took the time and put together I think it's 35 minutes or 40-minute video called "Sorry, Antarctica is Closed." It's on our Facebook page. Go to the video page, scroll way down, and you'll see "Sorry, Antarctica is Closed." If you watch that video, you'll understand the physical and political limitations on why exploring Antarctica is not happening.
Okay. And how about the seasons then? It's not because of the tilt of the Earth?
Yeah. So again, you got. By the way,
that's something we can experiment, and we know that we do have
Yeah,
seasons.
for sure.
Okay.
let's talk about it. So I have a video on my channel called.
I'll watch it. I'll be glad to watch it.
Yeah, called Seasons Explained. Just scroll down and find that one.
Can you give us a thumbnail real quick?
I can't right now. You have to go to the page,
All right.
scroll. It's way down, and just keep reading. I have good thumbnails.
But you do explain
so
it.
you'll
There,
see it.
you do at least take into consideration, right?
So-
You're not dodging the question.
No.
Right.
It actually, once you watch this, you realize seasons on the ball are impossible. Okay.
Okay.
So here, you look at me. So you got this is the sun now. My
Right,
microphone
right,
is now
sure.
not the North Pole. I've turned it into the sun.
Correct.
Okay.
Mhm.
But this is the sun.
Okay.
And not gonna happen. Not gonna happen.
Nice try, though.
Well, we could. Yeah, we'll imagine it being a ball. Okay.
So here is the Earth, and I'm tilting the Earth.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, 23 and a half.
23.4 degrees. Right. Yes.
Or 66.6 degrees.
Correct.
If
You
look at
could
the
say
other
it that
side.
way. Right. Yeah. Right.
So I'm tilting
6'6",
it.
I like
so
it.
now the bottom is tilting towards the sun, so it's getting more direct light over here.
That's the
It's
claim,
Australia's
yes.
summer, our
Right.
winter.
Correct.
This is December.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
I bring it over here. The tilt stays the same. We're tilted towards the top. In June, it's our summer. Antarctica.
correct.
Australia's winter.
Right.
Okay.
That's correct.
Okay. So that
And we're a little bit
tilt-
farther away too in June than we are in January. We're closer to the sun in January, theoretically. Than
So
July.
during our winter,
not much.
we're closer
it's a little
to
bit,
the sun.
right?
So
Yes.
again, that's a religion. So
I know, but that's the claim. That's the claim.
So
Yeah.
so listen, you guys got to You got to
Right.
focus here.
Okay.
So that little tilt is causing our seasons. However, on December 21st, the winter solstice.
Solstice, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I can go out at noon when the sun is at its highest point for the day in the sky, and I could look at the sun on a blue sky day, and I could barely feel the heat on my face, and it's up here at like 50 degrees. Okay. 60 degrees high in the sky, and I could barely feel the heat on my face at a 60-degree angle. Okay. So now in June 21st, I'll go to the beach in the dark, and when the sun pops its head visible on the horizon, I could feel the heat blasting on my face. And that is the most severe angle you can. Forget this 34-degree tilt. I'm talking an 89-degree tilt away. And I could feel the heat from that sun the second it shows up on the horizon. That shows you right there that it's not the angle of the sun, but the distance of the sun. Yes, when it's over on the horizon, it's a little cooler than it is at noon, but I can feel the sun blasting on my face, coming through the most severe angle. And in the winter, when it's coming at its most direct angle, I can't even feel the heat at all.
But during the summer, when it's at its most direct angle, the heat is,
you have to remember
excruciating,
that
right?
that tilt. We're rotating. So
Right.
we're going from 0 to 90 and back to 0 every day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That tilt is just a little, it's a thought experiment. Okay. It means nothing. The fact that I can't feel the sun when it's up here, but I can feel it when it's down here in June and in December, I can't feel it when it's up here. Take a heat lamp and face it at yourself and then tilt it and see if it makes much of a difference.
Well, all that tells me is the tilt.
Okay, and
You're not
we'll be-
ascribing it to the tilt. How does the flat Earth explain that?
Yeah, so I'll explain it on the Flat Earth Sun and Moon and Zodiac Clock app. I'm going to put this on daily. So here's the sun cruising along, and you can see that that outer yellow line is the Tropic of Capricorn. So on December 21st, it's over that outer yellow line.
Okay.
So right now, it's getting very close to the red line, which is the equator.
Right.
Okay?
See it. I see it. Yeah.
So it's moving closer to us on the inner northern hemiplane.
Okay. I got it. Okay. Well,
And then in the summer, it's over the Tropic of Cancer.
Correct, yes.
And it's over that yellow line. And so it's far away from the outer southern hemiplane lands.
Right,
and
I
they're
got
freezing their asses off
I
while
got
we're
it.
boiling.
okay.
Because
Well,
lamp is here.
It's a nice animation. and all. I just wonder if we can prove it in a
right,
physical model.
Right. That's kind of a religion too. I have to accept
agree.
but that
This
at
is
least
not
that
a
is an
religion because
explanation.
You can take a heat lamp and do the experiment. Okay, the angle that the light is hitting the ground isn't going to make much of a difference at all than the closeness. You can get a slab of ice and rotate it around and rotate it in and out, and you'll see where the ice melts and where it doesn't melt. And so if you had here's an experiment I'd love to see someone do. Get a walk-in freezer. You freeze a big slab of snow, and then rotate over the Tropic of Cancer a light and melt the snow, and then make a wider circle and watch it melt out there and refreeze as it moves away. It's the closeness of the light.
Okay.
So it has nothing to do with the amount of radiation per square foot.
So yes, that's true. If you tilt something and you're spreading the radiation out,
Right.
But it's
sure, it's going to make a
insignificant.
little difference. It's going to make a little difference in light and whatnot. But you have to
just a
remember,
little.
we're rotating
Right,
too.
it's
So we're going
insignificant.
0 to 90 and back to 0 again every single day. If the angle made that much of a difference, every single sunrise, 365 days a year, it would be freezing cold. Okay?
But the problem is, it's not just that controls what our temperature is right now. So while we are in the dark and don't feel the sun, the other side of the planet is still at that angle and has that heat at the same time.
Yeah.
So there's always somewhere pointed at the Earth.
Same latitude day and night on the other side.
Yeah, I mean, so drop it at 23-degree angle. Let's see if I get my camera here. Say this is the parallel where we're at. Spin the Earth. Then on the other side of the Earth, there's an equal and opposite point on the other side of the Earth that's going to have basically the same exact
Conditions.
conditions.
So let's talk about that. So the Earth is tilted. So at different latitudes. So at 60 degrees north, 6 months later, you should have the exact same temperatures at 60 degrees south. The exact, very similar weather.
Very similar,
right?
yeah.
Very
Right,
similar.
right.
Very similar plant life. Very similar animal life. But that's not the case at all. At equal latitudes in the north, there's animals, there's thousands of plants and stuff. At the same latitude in the south, 0. No plants, no animals, maybe a couple penguins. And that's because the sun isn't there long enough. It's completely different. Seasons explained on the Flat Earth, the Flat Earth Podcast Facebook page. You have to scroll down probably 100, 150 videos, but you'll see it. It's a split. It says Seasons Explained, worth the watch.
Okay, David, and I will
15-minute
watch
video.
that. But the thing I do like about this theory that you have here, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems to totally negate the idea of global warming because of the
Oh, fuck.
radiation.
Here we go.
Well, it's true because the radiation supposedly coming in long way from the sun, bouncing and or short way from the sun and becoming long wave. That's a bunch of crap.
Come on,
then,
go
right?
flat Earth.
Yeah, he's a flat earther.
I'll go flat Earth before I go global warming. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. So
Any day of the
here's
week.
the thing: global warming. There is climate change. There's stuff happening.
Of course.
There are cycles that we live within. There's grand cycles. The Mayans knew of them.
Sure.
So the real issue is look what they're spraying in our skies. You guys are aware of the geoengineering that's going on, yes? Or are
We've
you
had a
blind
show
to
on that.
Yes, definitely.
All right,
I assume you're talking chemtrails
we
and the
were
like.
ridiculed for years about that, but now they admit it. Look up Harvard study saying Solar Shield 2017. They're admitting that starting in the summer of 2017 that they're going to spray our skies to darken
Aluminum
it
barium.
to avoid global warming. So
Are you sure you're not confusing all this with just cloud seeding?
yeah.
Because they seed the clouds
Look it up.
for the
They're
Olympics
talking
there in
about
China, and it
blocking
did
the
it awesome.
sun. Look up. Look up. Look up.
Why would they need to block the sun? I mean, that's what I'm asking.
All right, that's a big question. A lot of people say they're controlling the weather. They're trying to make us sick.
Right.
They're controlling our connection to what the heavens above. Okay, I don't believe this is my belief, and again, it's you can call it a religious belief.
Sure is.
That our spirit is not, my consciousness is not from just inside this meat suit. I came here. I'm having an experience here on this physical plane, and maybe my greater consciousness is in the sky, in the stars. Look on my video on my channel. There's a lot of videos with super zoom cameras filming Arcturus and Polaris and other stars. They're energetic, geometric, blobbing energy. I mean, just check out the videos and start questioning things. Just believing, everything you guys believe about heliocentrism is a belief system. There's zero proof.
But
zero.
I want to get back to my bête noire here. So I'm saying, though, if we accept what you said about the seasons and the sun being overhead and it's never over the head of Antarctica, we don't have to worry. We don't have to worry about Antarctica melting, right? Because that's what the big global warming thing is.
So-
it's going to
so
melt
here's
and
the
raise the oceans, right? Isn't that that's true?
So the sun sets due to distance as it moves away across the Earth plane. So hang on.
Mm-hmm.
So when it's in the Tropic of Cancer, which is that tight circle around the center.
Yes.
If you're inside of that circle, like in Alaska or Norway, the sun never really gets that far away from you, so it never sets.
True.
And
6 months
you
of
can
light.
go there and verify it and film it. Okay.
And it melts the ice.
I've been there,
too.
experienced it.
And it would
Yeah,
melt the
so
ice.
it's amazing. It goes around you, and guess what? It goes around you just like you see it. You're stationary, and it's circling you. However, 6 months later, you should have the same thing in Antarctica at the same latitude, whatever the latitude. Alaska
Southern
is.
hemisphere,
If you're
yeah.
at that latitude, you should see the same thing. There is no 24-hour sun in Antarctica. There's 4 videos of the 24-hour sun. All of them completely debunked scientifically. They're fake, and we've actually talked.
That's a bold
to
claim,
the-
David.
to the-
How did they fake it, David? How did they
Just
manage
go
it?
look at it. I'll
Okay.
just look at the videos on my channel.
right.
There's. I
Did
think
you
I have
take
a
the
playlist.
videos?
I made some of them, but
Okay.
just basically, I'm showing you how they're doing it, and the fact that it's me, nobody, showing you something, you can make up your own mind. It's fake. I mean, it's so fake. It's ridiculous at some points, but. There's at the Amundsen's base or whatever the base is down there, they have a camera and you could watch the shadows going around, right? But the shadows, there's 8 hours missing. Every day, there's 8 hours missing. So Jaron from the Jaronism channel, he was in email communication with them, and he's trying to say, hey, can you send me the unedited full video? And they're like, oh, no, we can't. We don't have enough bandwidth. We don't have enough bandwidth to send you it. It's a time-lapse video. It's a shot every 5 minutes or whatever it is, or 5 seconds a minute. Or
Even if
whatever
it's a
it is.
20 megapixel picture, it's you're talking 10 megabytes per photo times 12 an hour times 24 a day. You're talking 288 photos in a day at 10 megs a piece. 3 gigs in a day. That's not that bad.
Yeah, but they can't. They said they don't have the bandwidth, and we're like, well, just give us the file. Just put the file. However, send it with somebody. Nope, they can't. They can't do it. They haven't. How come they haven't filmed an eclipse from the moon? Right? Wouldn't you like to see the
it's pretty
moon
expensive.
eclipse the Earth? Well, we have satellites in space. We can take pictures of Pluto, of Saturn, of Jupiter, but we can't take any pictures of Earth. We can't film the eclipse from the space station.
Japan has a satellite that takes pictures of
satellite that takes a picture every 10 minutes.
Yes.
Okay?
You can look at it right now.
Hang on. That is a religion. Again, we've completely exposed them. We found a backdoor server on NASA, an open server, where it has all of the images from the HMRRE 8. And it shows how they take the blue marble flat map, they wrap it on a ball, they take real-time weather data, they wrap that on the ball, they add a Terminator line. Okay, there's a video on my channel. It's actually, it might be on my channel, but the app actually has a featured video, and if you click the archive, it's in there.
So let me ask you something real quick.
Hang on, let me just finish. Proving scientifically 100% that the HMRRE 8 satellite that everyone uses as their proof is 100% bullshit.
Wrong. So you're saying that you can take a piece of paper of a flat Earth map and wrap that around. You can wrap that around a ball, right? And there'll be no overlap. So there should be exponentially more area on a flat Earth than there is on a globe, right? Because of all the overlap.
There is. There's big swaths of southern oceans that have people don't go there. They're not listed on GPS. GPS keeps us within our pen. Okay. Remember those flights, those Malaysian flights that
800
disappeared?
Yeah.
Yeah. They probably flew into those uncharted areas of Earth for whatever reason. I have a different theory. It's a religious belief, but there are sections of ocean out there that we don't know. There could be another continents out there. There could be anything, but we don't have access to these things. And by the way, the flat Earth map is not accurate. It's not accurate, but neither is the globe map. There is the Google Earth and Google Maps use two different maps.
Yep.
They have continents that are
different size, perspectively.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's bothered me forever.
On our Facebook page, if you go to the photos, it's not far down. It's actually pretty close to the top as of now. That'll show you Iceland on 3 different maps that they use as real. And like in one of them, Iceland fits like 5 times. The other one, it fits like 50 times, or it's ridiculous inside of Africa. So when they say, show us a map, I say, show me a globe map. Okay. There's also
it's hard to take a 3-dimensional shape though and flatten it out and make it a good representation. I've seen versions of the map honestly that have nice arcs taken out of the top, like twice I believe, and an arc taken out of the bottom, like a semicircle taken out to kind of adjust for that. But again, I find I've tried it myself to figure out just in my head as a thought experiment.
Figure out what the map is, and the globe has however many years you want to assign to it, and they still can't figure it out.
Fair.
So yeah.
So are you a gun? Do you shoot guns at all?
What's that got to do with anything?
I'm asking you. Do you shoot guns?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So
guns are fun.
I got a buddy that's a sniper, a Marine sniper, and in order to shoot a 2 mile shot, you have to account for the curve.
Again, religious belief.
Telling you right now, if you shoot in one spot without accounting for the turn of the Earth, you're not going to get where you need to be. That's an adjustment that has to be made.
In the featured video archives of the app,
the Coriolis effect.
Video about Coriolis. So let's think about that. The reason that bullets curve is because they're spinning. Okay, the bullet is spinning and it has a curve to it. If
From
you
the
had
rifling
to
in the barrel. Right.
Hang on. Come on. We have guys in the Navy that shoot these giant cannons that go 100 miles. Right. By the time the bullet got there, the target has moved 25 miles if the Earth is spinning. But they don't calculate that at all. There's one video out there of some sniper saying that he has to calculate for it. It's nonsense. None of that's true. If that was true, how did Felix Baumgarten, who did the Red Bull jump, he took off from Arizona, he went way up in the air, floated around for a couple of hours while the Earth is spinning, and he landed back in Arizona again?
Well, you said it yourself, though. I mean, at the top of the world, it's spinning the whole time.
Well, it would have to take 24 hours then, honestly. If
he landed in the same spot.
That's what he's saying.
He landed like within miles of where he took off from.
You don't think he could have, parachuted and he knew where he was at?
I don't actually honestly remember looking at the positioning of the Earth under Felix. Everybody's seen the Red Bull jump.
It was
he's
a cool video.
90,000 feet above. How long was he up above there? Because I don't remember him being that up there that long and staying stationary. 3 hours?
2 hours ascending. Don't hold me to that. But we send balloons up ourselves and we get them back in the same state that we took them off from. They're up there for 3 hours. Look at Dwayne Kellum channel or.
So if he wasn't in some sort of geosync, more or less, which you got to call that a small orbit if he's jumping back out in the same spot.
How come airplanes don't have to worry about Coriolis? How come tennis players don't worry about Coriolis?
Who says that the airplanes don't have to worry about?
I would say Coriolis on a tennis example is just it's too short term to matter. But
right,
that's true. The math, the Earth should spin right out from underneath that ball. 1,000 miles per hour is pretty darn fast. You have an north-south court. How fast? I forget how many inches per split second it is, but it's out.
1,000 isn't that fast if you're like standing on something that's going 1,000 miles an hour.
Helicopters. Why? How can I put my drone up there and film the sunset in the exact same position without adjusting for Coriolis? Okay, it's ridiculous. If a bullet has to account for Coriolis, so does a drone, so does an airplane, so does a balloon. It's a religious belief you have.
Well, there's another religious
I say a
belief
drone
have.
doesn't. My eyes don't have to account for it.
Do you know
Right.
where the fastest winds in the solar system are?
What solar system?
Well, assuming if you believe the religion. Well, they say that Neptune has 1,100 mile an hour winds. I don't believe it rotates as fast as the Earth.
Wait, can you guys?
Well, I don't know. I've never been to Neptune. You're right.
Oh, I have.
No
been
one
there.
ever into space.
You've been in
okay?
Uranus.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's interesting. Why would they make up all this stuff, David? That's what I'm wondering.
That's my end game. Stop.
Well, okay.
Jesus,
all right. Well,
Armand.
that'd be the last question then.
I got about
we'll
4
on
last
that.
questions. Yeah.
We're running out of time here.
What time is it?
So-
I don't know. Who cares? It's quarter till out of him. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Just think of this.
Mm-hmm.
This is how they put it in our faces. Google NASA photograph of Pluto. Okay. It was taken a couple years ago.
Right. New Horizons.
And
Yeah.
look at it. The Disney character Pluto is on the picture.
The
Disney
official
character Pluto.
So
picture.
how about all these probes? Do you discount? I mean, Voyager, all these Pioneer.
One of them. Nothing is left.
Okay.
Maybe they've gone up 70 miles. That's it.
Wow.
Have you seen that? There's a bunch of amateur rockets that went up and they appear to hit something. Not sure what it is. But I believe my belief, haven't been there, but from the observations I've seen, we live in some sort of enclosed system. Is it a hard glass ceiling? Is it electromagnetic? Is it a liquid? I'm not sure what it is, but we live in a high pressure system. We have air pressure next to the vacuum of space. How come it doesn't suck the air off the Earth?
I mean, the prevailing thought is gravity, right?
I think they say that. Yeah. But,
So gravity, so of course, gravity is the god of the heliocentrist.
right.
Yes.
That's correct.
Oh,
Yeah.
you have the ultimate vacuum, the vacuum, a Tor 10 vacuum of space that can't suck the air off, but I can lean over.
Well, that's not what a
with my
vacuum
wing-
does.
with my-
Vacuum doesn't mean sucks anything. It just means
No,
it's
it's
nothingness. That's all.
Yeah, it's void of
It's a
oxygen.
void.
Anything in nature goes from more pressure to less pressure. That's just the way it works.
Well, that assumes
Exactly.
there's
If you're in an
gravity.
airplane, you can't open the door.
My lungs that are a weaker vacuum suck water and air up and away from
Your
gravity.
lungs aren't a
Just
vacuum.
you created a
Yeah,
vacuum with them. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
create
they're not like a.
different pressure. So there's a difference in pressure.
Yeah, it's
in the
osmosis
sky.
is what. Yeah.
No, no, that's different too.
You can only have high pressure next to high pressure contained it with a barrier. There's no two ways about it.
Well, that's how wind's created because there is no barrier. Once you create a high pressure, like whenever the sun heats the earth and the air heats up, it expands that air, creates a higher pressure. That's what gives you wind. You've got lower pressure beyond the boundary of the high pressure bubble.
Right.
What's that?
The high pressure will go to the lower pressure.
Right. So yeah, you're right. Without, say, like a balloon can't exist without the balloon itself being there. That's what keeps that high pressure.
So why would NASA or whoever? And I believe me, I'm no fan of NASA's because all they care about is
Money.
what the contribution of Muslims to space exploration. But
Wow, I was out of left field.
well, that's what they want. That's what they're trying. That's where a lot of their money goes. That and global warming, of course. But why would they say Neptune has the fastest winds in the solar system? It's interesting.
want you-
and
they want you
Venus
to
is
be-
the hottest planet, supposedly.
They want to fascinate you with space. They want you
Okay.
believing in space.
So it's misdirection, and like anything else, it's just misdirection.
Why, Disney and NASA are closely tied. NASA has more artists than Disney has.
I was looking
Okay,
at those
graphic
pictures of
artists.
Pluto, and I didn't see the dog. The official pictures of Pluto I haven't pulled up right here, and I'm not seeing a dog on
That's not what
there.
he was talking about. You said on
Yeah, he
the
said there's
New
Pluto, the
Horizons.
Disney
It's a
character.
picture of Pluto. I mean, if you look it up, it comes up. Photo of
Official
Well,
pic of Pluto from a few years ago, exactly like you said.
And supposedly all these extrasolar planets too, David. That's more, just more fodder
the
for.
the first picture that comes up is Pluto. Okay, you see Pluto?
Yep, there it is. That's it.
Yeah, there is Pluto and Pluto.
Oh, wait. By the way, this is a photograph.
I can look up in the sky though, and just like
This
make
is a
bear out
photograph
of
of
a
a
cloud.
planet that is so far away, but we can see it it's lit up, it's in perfect focus and everything, but we can't get any photos of Earth. And if you say, well, there's photos of Earth, no, there's not. NASA admits that they're all CDI constructs made from strips of data.
That's very
And
true.
Because, yeah. So we can get a picture of Pluto.
They're all
but we
color
can't get a
composites
picture of Earth. Okay. If you look at Earth, okay, they're all different.
That's the picture.
They're all
there.
different.
Yeah.
They're all nonsense. They're stepping and repeating clouds. If you look, the clouds are stepped and repeated. This is the blue marble that was on our iPhones. It's still in our textbook today as a real photo, and it's a.
I didn't see a repeat there.
Yeah, I didn't see a repeat there.
You didn't see the repeating?
No. If you could please turn that back, I would like to look at that again.
Sure thing.
Please and thank you.
So look, so there's the photo, and if you look in all the boxes,
Those those
Oh, I
clouds do
got
look
you.
the same. to
Yeah, that
me.
does there. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks just the same, really.
Yeah, that's true.
And what's the source of these photos?
NASA.
NASA, those fuckers. Well, that right there, if that is a truly NASA sourced and no doctoring outside of NASA, and that's pretty damning.
Well, they do. Yeah, they admit they make those pictures.
it's also
They're
possible that-
renditions
that
from
some-
different artists.
some intern asshole fucked it up.
It's
I mean,
on the NASA website. It's still there. This is Planet New Mexico. Whenever you see a curve, take that curve and cut it out, and then continue the circle. And look, that's New Mexico. Okay, New Mexico doesn't cover that much of the planet. And then this is a balloon at 120,000 feet, and the Earth is flat, and the sun is close and just above the Earth.
certainly
Here's
good
the
look.
other thing is when we send balloons up, all the stars disappear by the time it gets to like 80,000 feet. They all disappear when you think they'd get brighter and brighter.
Huh. David, I got a kind of a slightly different question here. This is a thought one.
that is interesting.
If you were
about
to go
stars,
about proving flat Earth, what would your experiment look like?
Well, I just go with we can see too far. Game over. Earth is flat.
Well, I mean, let's do an actual experiment that we could throw money at. So, say somebody was rich. Say I had $1 billion. I believe the flat Earth theory, and I want to fund somebody that can do a whatever version of
We
science
can
you want
see-
to call it.
We can see too far. The Earth is flat.
No, what
Period.
he's saying is if we can fund an experiment to prove this to everybody, what would that
More
experiment
than
be?
just looking out a window and saying that we see too far. What more of a definitive way that could easily more than just you could call
There's a thing one guy came up with who's a engineer called force the line, and basically you take like these fencing sections that have machined parts that the ends are perfectly straight, and when you put them together they're exactly 90 degrees touched.
Sure.
And you plant this fence and you make sure each one is straight to the next, and over the course of several miles the Earth should start dropping away. But that'll cost it costs a lot of money.
Yeah, that'd be a
Another
good way to do
experiment
that.
that we
That's a
tried
great
to
way to
do,
check. Yeah.
What would it be?
Yeah, that we
So
tried to
he's
do
basically
is
saying
called-
take bricks, more or less take bricks and put them end to end to end. And eventually, if these things are 90 degrees touching like that,
The curvature of
the
the
curvature
Earth.
of the Earth should get further away.
Right.
If you had enough bricks. So it could take 100 miles or so before you start to
No,
notice that.
not even 100 miles. 3 miles.
3
We
miles.
dropped 6 feet in 3 miles.
But what about
Okay.
places like Kansas that are abnormally flat?
Yeah, they're flat. You can
Because
see
the
too
Earth,
far.
while it is spherical by theory, the round Earth theory, it is not perfectly uniformly theory. It's not like a cue ball.
It's an oblate sphere.
No, no,
supposedly.
it's got hills and valleys and
Flat
mountains
spots and
in it.
round spots.
and it's
Yeah.
wider at the equator than at the poles.
Yeah.
Due to the spinning of the Earth, they say.
Correct. That's what they say.
Gives you a slight
bulge. Yeah.
right.
Oblate
Well,
spheroid.
But,
But
even
how-
then,
how
that's
come-
more or less the water, kind of like a tide type of thing.
that
Then
has something to do
Well,
with it.
how
yeah.
come there's like the Maldives, which are islands that are only like 3 feet in elevation?
Right.
They have like a 1 foot tide, right? They're on the equator. The water should be bulging all over the place there, but it doesn't. The biggest tides are in the north.
Yeah,
okay?
Bay of Fundy.
And that makes a lot of sense. Here's a depiction of the flat Earth. So there we are, and then what's beyond that darkness around the outside, we don't know. The sun and the moon that we see are inside our inside the dome that we see.
what book is that, David? Hold on. What book is that? Just want to make
Not
sure.
for sale. It's called
Not-
Hoax.
It's called Hoax. It's actually not for sale. I can't find that anywhere.
Nope, you can't. It costs too much to make, is what the problem is.
Bummer,
I was
man.
thinking of.
What about a PDF copy of it?
What's that?
You ever think about distributing a PDF version of it?
It is. It's on our website,
Beautiful.
theflatearthpodcast.com, and go to FE Artwork, and the Hoax book is right there, and you can download it yourself.
Check it out. I'm going to definitely do that. That's pretty
Awesome.
cool.
I think Eric has some parting shots here.
No. I have some questions from the listeners.
Hold on. Before you get to those, let me just say something. With all of the stuff that we've been doing, NASA is running scared. The elite are running scared, and they are responding to us. They're changing the story. You ever heard of moving the goalposts?
Sure.
Okay. They're moving the globe post. Okay.
Okay.
Right? And they're now saying that the moon is within our atmosphere.
Who? NASA,
NASA
saying
said that?
Yes.
No, they did not.
Yes, they did. Look it up.
I'll
Moon
look it up
within
right now.
Earth's atmosphere.
Googling it now.
Yeah,
So-
because and they're also saying what else are they saying? Crazy stuff.
Well, that's pretty crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
If they
And so
say
if
that-
was the case,
Oh, I get.
well,
Okay, I get what you're saying. So how they define the Earth's atmosphere has changed, like how the stratosphere is,
right.
so far
So it
out.
goes out to the moon. Yeah.
when we
Not that
started,
the moon's
they
closer.
It's like the heliosphere. They keep extending
Correct.
how far the heliosphere
Correct.
goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
When we started, they said you can't see the curvature from an airplane, but you can see it at 70,000 feet. And then we sent a balloon up to 100,000 feet. They're like, oh, you can't see it at 100,000 feet. And Neil deGrasse Tyson just recently changed it. He said, Felix Baumgarten, who said in his interview, and this was a scripted line, I could see the curvature, right? Because that's what that was about, just brainwashing people. He says, you cannot see the curvature. This is actually him saying that right there. He says, the Earth is flat from that height. You cannot see the curvature. Okay, so they've moved the globe post again. By the way, Red Pill Philosophy is the name of the YouTube channel that has a ton of videos exposing Neil deGrasse Tyson, and that's where you can get this shirt.
I'm
Very
definitely
cool shirt.
checking that
Yeah, I
out.
wanna check
Anything
that
that
out.
shits on him.
Red,
Yeah, me too.
Red Pill Philosophy.
I mean,
Okay.
I see a lot of third-party articles about that, but I don't see any one source from NASA saying that the moon, our atmosphere stretches to the moon, or the moon is within our
what
atmosphere.
about space.com has one?
Yeah,
Space.com?
they're all over the place.
I mean, that's
and
pretty
again,
reputable.
Again, it's nonsense.
Well, what is that
It's
supposed to
not-
explain by extending the atmosphere out to the moon?
He's
It's just
saying
the
that they
definition of the
changed it.
atmosphere.
Oh.
He's saying that they're ever changing things to
Yeah.
evolve with.
And I agree with that.
technology.
I mean, you got a good point with the dark matter. I've always been when you start telling me we don't know what 95% of the matter in the universe is, you don't know what the hell you're talking about, in my opinion.
Religion.
Right. Well, you got a good point there. I mean, they don't know what they're talking about. They're just making something up. That's all.
Anything that has to do with space is made up. Just there's a little rule of thumb for you. Okay. Anything.
Can
that
I
has
quote
to
you,
do with
David?
Yeah,
space-
you can't say. Yeah, that's a
that one-
really rough statement.
That's
to
a
say.
long. Yeah,
Well,
that's kind of a
aliens.
jump, but
That's a kind
but
of.
I
People
mean,
that
the guy
love
raises
space
some
love
good.
aliens, right?
No, your arguments are 100% compelling.
Yeah,
for
right.
Sure.
But let me admit, I thought you were going to be a total lunatic, but I think you're pretty. I think you're not a lunatic. I think you're a relatively sane guy. as far as this show goes.
Relatively.
We're
Here's the
not.
thing.
We're lunatics.
Misinformed.
People say, you want to feel special. You want to think that you know something that other people don't. Well, there's a lot of people that know the Earth is flat. By the way, the in the early 1900s, everybody knew the Earth was flat. They changed the story, started world wars, and redid everything. In the 1850s, the heliocentrism wasn't even a thing. Oh, that's what we didn't talk about is Aristophanes.
No, Aristotle, right? Aristophanes was a
Aristophanes
Greek
is a
guy.
good
He's right.
Aristotle.
Aristophanes wrote the Birds. He's a comedic playwright.
Had the stick in Said and another at a well or whatever. It
Right.
went from sticks and wells to sticks. But basically, at 12 noon, there was no shadow, but there was a shadow on this stick, and he calculated the angle
Right.
and did it. Well, on a flat Earth, right?
Isn't
if
that
you have a close
Aristarchus?
sun-
No,
you have a
he's
close
right.
sloped sun, right? If the sun's right here above this stick, and I got this other stick over here, no shadow, shadow. Flat Earth, small sun. It works on both. By the way, nothing has fallen
Yes.
in the globe only basket since this beginning of this discussion.
Fair
Oh
enough.
yeah, I didn't.
Gotta tell you something.
I didn't like that,
Right?
man. The globe only basket, or flat basket. I didn't think we
basket.
should have done it like that. I just have a few good points that I want to make after we do our listener questions to you.
What are the listeners saying?
Bring
Yeah.
it.
We have a very intelligent audience, David.
Yeah, it's Aristophanes. He's correctly on the guy. He was a Greek mathematician, geographer, et cetera,
So he's not
astronomer.
I know the Aristophanes I know is the playwright.
It's Aristophanes. It's
Aristophanes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
my
no,
error.
it
I thought
shows that the Earth was flat. 1900. We met a woman, one of my podcast hosts, Curious Jay, met a woman from Croatia who he tried to flat smack by, bringing up flat Earth. And she goes, of course the Earth is flat. I've always been taught that my entire life. I was taught that in grade school. People alive today that were taught flat Earth in grade school.
Right. So then that, like I said, shouldn't that be known everywhere? I mean, why are they teaching every single cut? I mean, why is this
It's so easy to change history. In 10 years, Building 7 will never have existed. Okay? They're changing history. It's so easy. Like my grandfather, nobody knows who he was. It's gone. Like my dad passed away, nobody knows who he was. That's not even 100 years ago. Okay? Anything over 100 years ago, nobody knows. It's so easy to
history?
change.
It's written by the winner, obviously.
Yep.
Definitely.
All right, let's have some listeners.
Yeah,
All right,
let's keep going with those.
So Frank Reynolds asks, so I put out, on Twitter and Facebook yesterday, give us some questions for the guys, for the flat Earth guy. So Frank Reynolds says, I just want to know why on a flat Earth is it cold in the winter and hot in the summer? Why is that?
Well, because the sun is closer in the summer and farther in the winter. Period.
he explained that in his
Yeah, it
Right.
changes
right.
altitude.
Yeah.
Here you go. Here's another one. This is from Lucas.
Wait. Video called Seasons Explained.
The cycles, right,
on the
David?
flat Earth.
Your cycles.
Yep.
Okay.
This next question comes from Lucas Van Gilder. He said, here's a flat Earth question for you, David. Helium balloons float, right?
Right.
Yes.
Okay. So now I've heard some flat earthers say that this is evidence that there is no gravity, when in reality it is the opposite. Helium balloons float because helium is the lightest gas, thereby making sure that the other gases and elements are pulled more. This makes the helium balloon rise. If there was no gravity, how could this be?
Well, it's buoyancy and density.
Yeah,
That's
it's buoyancy.
it. The heavier things fall down deeper, and the lighter things float up higher.
Okay.
He did
What's up,
mention
Paul?
that before. He's being consistent. Yeah.
Ryan Sykes asks via Twitter, if the Earth was flat, and why haven't we heard of anyone falling over the edge before? And he said, I'll add to that and say, why are there no pictures? And so why are there no pictures?
So there are on both channels is a video called what the hell is it called? It's called the dive how to jump off a flat Earth. And the Earth is, just imagine a lake in Kansas. Kansas is flat. Imagine a lake that's 20 miles in circumference, and you have a bunch of islands on that lake. You can circle those islands clockwise, counterclockwise, east and west. You can go away from the center, and when you get to the shoreline, fall off the lake. You can't fall off the lake. There's land surrounding the lake. Did you know that Antarctica is the highest land on Earth? It's higher than all of the other lands on Earth. You know why? Because the basin that holds the world oceans is the bowl. Antarctica is the outer rim of the bowl that's holding us. What's beyond that rim? More land.
So is Antarctica connected to the ground that's underneath the bowl? You know what I mean? Like if the bowl's
Antarctica, it's all the ground is connected. Like plate tectonics, how does that work? There's ground that's connected underneath the oceans, right? Where is it moving on a ball? But Antarctica is just the highest land. So get a bunch of clay, punch a hole in it, make some islands and stuff, and then pour water all over the edge, and it's all going to go to the basin. Those are the world oceans surrounded by the ice.
I mean, the model works, but
yeah,
Could there
it works
theoretically
perfectly.
then you're saying that theoretically there could be no edge. It could just
There's
extend.
no edge that we have access to. What is maybe the firmament, the dome terminates to the land, and there's nothing beyond that. We don't know. There's reports, of people that explored the deep north and the deep south, that the farther they went, they couldn't tell the difference between the air and the water, and the air became one.
What?
Right? We don't know. Again, we don't know.
See, that
we don't
seems
know
like
what's there.
to me, David. That seems like something if you had enough money to fund, you would fund a trip, a ship or whatever.
They're
to
off
just,
limits. You're not allowed to go. Wait,
really? So if there's going to actually be someone to stop you, physically stop you, if you keep going.
Yes.
Huh.
Yes,
Okay, well,
there have been people
I'd
that
like to
tried to
see.
explore
Me too.
Antarctica, and they were stopped at gunpoint from military ships.
who's military?
And told to turn around.
Yeah,
I
which
forget
military?
the names of them, but
You have that on
can look
video?
it up. And again, it's they don't need people linked elbows all the way around to stop people. They can see giant swaths. They can track. We're being tracked, and we can be seen
Through GPS.
Yeah. Oh no, not necessarily GPS. They radar.
Global
and
position.
Yes. No,
then how would
ground-
GPS work then? Because I was under the impression that the GPS, the satellite moves and they triangulate, and that's what tells you where you are. That wouldn't work with a.
Well, GPS doesn't tell you anything where you are. Your phone or your GPS device receives the signal from
Right.
multiple satellites at once, and your device does the triangulation.
Okay,
The
right.
satellite-
Okay.
There's nothing active about it from the satellites.
So it
That's
does.
a
Okay.
religious belief when you say that they come from satellites. The problem is when you're tracking airplanes all over the world. What was I going to say? When you're tracking airplanes all over the world, as soon as they get like 200 miles from any land, they disappear off of radar, off of GPS, and it goes into approximated mode. Okay, so and also when they're over like the Amazon jungle where there's no civilization, no place that has electricity, no towers, there's no GPS. GPS doesn't work when you're away from land. It's because it's all tower based. Now, are there satellites? There aren't satellites falling around the Earth in space like we're told, but they're launching thousands and thousands and thousands of satellites on balloons from Antarctica. Just look up balloon satellite launch.
But they're not
Antarctica.
getting anywhere, though, right? Because of the firmament.
that?
They're not getting anywhere, right? If they're launching those, they're not
they
going
go
nowhere,
up
right?
100, 200,000 feet, and they float around. And they're solar powered satellites. What are they doing? Are they
They're bobbing along the top of the firmament, correct?
They admit it. There's 100 different programs where they do this, and these things they stay up there for a year or more, and some of them have crashed in some remote places, and they quickly come and scoop them up before people get their hands on them. But there's plenty of videos. Look at balloon satellite crash. Look that up on YouTube.
But the notion, but David, let me get this straight. The notion that they're an actual continuous free fall that we think is what a satellite does, that's nonsense.
Nonsense.
Okay.
So this is how 99% of all of the communications are done. They're done on undersea cables, and you'll notice that there's none going across the lower southern latitudes. They go all the way up to the north and down and around. Because and the people that lay those things, they don't know that the Earth is flat. But if they tried to go from Santiago to Australia, they'd run thousands of miles short on cable. They're like, wait a minute, we're not there yet.
Okay.
Some questions?
Yeah, I do. I actually have more. So John Bath, he's asking, we've already covered that. John Morit, do you believe that all the other planets are flat too and that the sun is also flat?
Let me answer that in 1 second. The guy's name is Jarl Andahoy. I probably butchered that. Who tried to go to Antarctica and he was fined and jailed. Do I believe
What was the
that
charge? Do you know? The charge for him?
What's that?
The charge for that man that was fined and jailed for going to Antarctica? What was he charged with?
I don't know. I don't look.
Who
it
was
up.
he charged
Breaking
by?
the Antarctic Treaty.
Okay. All right.
By the UN. You know.
I believe that.
So the sun and moon and stars, the moons, they're all very similar. They're not physical bodies in space. They're just lights. So I don't believe in any rocks in space or burning balls of hydrogen. Everything is energetic that's up there. And until we get up there, we don't know. And even if we get up there, I'm not sure we can know. I'm not even sure we're capable of knowing. But think about that. We filmed stars from the ground with high-resolution cameras. The balloons go up, and all the stars disappear as it gets above all the clouds and everything. All the stars.
That's something we can test ourselves though with a GoPro, right? In a decent, consumer level.
Yeah,
consumer
all the
level
stars
balloon.
disappear. Go look. There's tons of videos up there. You don't need to do it. It's already been done 100 times over.
Wasn't that
Yeah,
one of
but
the
if we don't
arguments
do it
against
ourselves, it's
our lead?
religion, though, right?
Right, that's what I'm saying.
No, that's not true because if you look, you can discern. Okay, this is there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of videos that are unedited showing you what happens. You could do it yourself. I agree. Do it yourself.
Okay, Thomas Gasser, and I think we probably already covered this, but he asked, why are there different constellations in the southern hemisphere than in the northern hemisphere? If the Earth is flat and covered in a dome, then all constellations should be observable from any vantage point on Earth.
Now that's not a religion. That is a pre-programmed indoctrination that stops you from actually thinking.
Okay.
So that we're gonna do a little mind experiment. It's gonna take a minute. It's gonna be great, and
All right,
you're
I
gonna
love it.
fully
Let's do it.
understand. Okay, you're in a room, a big empty room, and you got a 15-foot high ceilings, and you have recessed lighting in the ceiling. Okay, what's going on?
Same one.
Recessed lighting in the ceiling, random star patterns in the ceiling. Okay.
Right.
Now we're going to expand that room. We're going to make it a mile wide. Same height ceiling. And you've got all the different you have different constellations all over the ceiling. Well, Everett, you're on one side of the room, and I'm on the other side of the room.
So it's basically the distance. We're wrong about the distance to the stars. If they were closer, then it makes obvious sense that they would appear different in a different place on the flat Earth.
And the reason that Polaris disappears at the equator is because the math, the way it's set up is due to perspective, it disappears into the horizon when you're about at the equator. However, under certain conditions, I haven't seen it myself, but there's reports of observatories as far as 30 degrees south being able to see Polaris, and they would be seeing through a huge mountain of Earth if heliocentrism was real.
I was going to say, if you were on the equator and supposedly it disappears because of perspective, could you not take a helicopter up any number of feet and then reacquire it?
Yeah, sure you can. You go up, you can reacquire it. So here's something that stars.
Wouldn't that prove curvature?
Orion, which is an equatorial constellation,
right.
it is a proof that the Earth does not spin. Can you guys hear me? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
I can't see it though.
here's the Earth. Can you guys see this?
I can.
Everyone see this?
My eyes are terrible. That's why I'm leaning forward.
So you got the sun in the middle. You got the Earth, and then the Earth 6 months later. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
This guy is on the equator. All right. Same guy on the equator. 6 months. This is nighttime because he's looking away from the sun. He's looking that way. Right.
Sure.
He's looking at all the stars over there. 6 months later, he's over here looking at all the stars over there, and he could see some of the same stars.
Well, I mean
Nonsense.
that makes sense if like looking north or south, but an equatorial one, that's a good point there.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to do some thinking on that one.
North and south is parallax. They
Right.
call that. Yeah.
'Cause what you're saying
Orion-
basically is
Orion,
you're looking at completely different.
somewhere.
You're looking at completely different direction in space relative to the sun.
Right.
When you're on opposite sides of the sun, on the dark side of the planet. So what you're saying is,
I'm lost on that one.
so say it's wintertime. Here's the Earth.
Right.
You're on this side. It's dark. You're looking out.
Sure,
There's an equatorial based constellation Orion, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now you come all the way around the Earth. You're still on the dark side, right? Why is Orion visible to you at nighttime? Because you're looking the exact opposite way across
And the
sun.
sun is in between you and the Orion you saw 6 months later, 6 months ago.
Yeah, but that blows my mind right there. That's an
I don't
interesting.
know. Yeah,
It
I
doesn't
can't answer
blow
that.
your
I
mind
honestly
if you
don't
know the Earth is flat. It makes perfect sense.
Again, if I can't take that step yet, David, you have to forgive me, but I've got 38 years now of dogma that I'm trying to get by. It could be dogma, it could be it's what I've taught.
Education.
You can look at flat Earth more or less since again, if you're looking at it from a religious point of view, as just a different way of having been taught or a view of looking at things. Again, as people who have no resources to check these things, they're both religious in my opinion. So it's hard for me to take that step away from mine towards yours.
Right, I agree. So Shane Select wants me to ask you, have you heard of the two suns theory?
Yeah, so I'll
Do you give it
answer
any
that in a second,
credence?
and that's a great one. Doug Jurley guy, he was fined by Norway for sailing without insurance and without filing a route plan.
Sure.
And was unauthorized landing in a protected area. Right? They got him on three counts.
So he needed to have scientific permits to conduct his research
not what
down
he's
there.
saying.
Well, I'm explaining the charges that the guy
It doesn't
incurred.
matter what. And sorry, Antarctica is closed. You got to watch that, and then you'll stop asking questions about the Antarctic Treaty. You'll understand that it's off limits, and you can speculate as to why.
They stop you in a car if you don't have insurance, though. I mean, you're not allowed to. And that's a big deal. So
Doesn't matter.
Well, how about this? If you're in international waters, fuck you, get off my boat. That's the way I feel about it.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're not going to stop me from going anywhere in
so
international
then they
waters.
Sink you, and nobody's there to see it. And what are you going to do?
Yeah, then I'm fucked.
This
I mean,
idiot
that's
tried to go
obvious.
to Antarctica and froze, and they drowned, and so no one should go to Antarctica.
What would stop somebody from like say taking a mobile internet connection like a satellite system and
There is no
live streaming
satellite system.
or whatever, any kind of mobile, whatever, however there's got to be a way. There's a balloon system that can get internet out into the remote parts of the ocean.
So
What
there-
stops
by the
somebody from live streaming
let
their
me
entire
correct
trip?
Let me correct myself. There are some of those balloons are probably for communications, and they also have the ability to bounce signals off the ionosphere,
Right,
which
like ham
I'll just
radio.
call the firmament, the dome.
Right.
And so there are different ways, but that's not how communication is done for the most part.
I'm just speculating if you could have some sort of constant internet connection where you can get any kind of signal out.
Yeah.
I'd like to, again, I'm just trying to think through the experiment, how I can get down there and prove this. I would like to try that, like a constant, if they're going to come down there and kill you, like you said, stop you, throw you overboard, and there's nothing you can do about
It
it.
should be filmed, yeah. They should be able to film it.
Yeah.
But then you could say they
so-
could EMP you and you're fucked at that point too. But there's a lot of what ifs at this,
Right.
Yeah, these are what ifs. These are things that what if.
Right.
Well, we haven't been able to do it, so it doesn't help.
I smell
the
Kickstarter,
situation.
man.
Yeah.
I'm ready to
There's
hop on a
plenty of stuff
goddamn
going
boat.
out there. We have flat earthers that have been trying to go to Antarctica. The mainstream media have taken Logan Paul, who said he wants to go to Antarctica.
That guy's a moron.
And they're saying flat earthers are planning a trip to Antarctica. That it's already scheduled. They're running with it to make it look stupid, but there is no.
Yeah, you guys have a hard enough time looking legit without Logan Paul hopping on your team. I'll
And
tell
that
you
other
that.
guy trying to fly himself in his homemade rocket. He's doing nothing for your
Oh
cause.
man.
We can't stop anybody
Fair.
who's wants to. When anybody wants to be in flat Earth, it's you can do whatever you want. So, he's actually got a documentary coming out today. I'm betting that it's pretty damn good. So we'll see.
The Rocket guy?
No, Logan Paul.
Oh, Logan Paul. We shall
yeah.
see.
Whoa, the Rocky guy actually made it. Anyway, so this is from a Twitter account, Flat Earth Globe Debunked. And his question number 1 says, why are there still people who believe in a globe when the curvature has already been proven to be false? He's asking you that.
So what he's basically saying, long and short, is why do people still believe in round Earth if it is so
if it's-
obviously true?
Yeah, if it's been proven so many times and, everybody can prove it
because
themselves.
nobody likes. It's easier to lie to somebody than to convince them they've been lied to.
So it's more or less like a religion. We're so far built into it. Everything revolves around it. It's too much of a leap for society.
Cognitive dissonance is what it is.
And
essentially.
right, and we're taught to laugh at flat Earth. We're programmed to.
Oh, no, I
to-
learned that on my
to
own, bud.
ridicule it.
I said, okay, so his question number 2 was, why do we have globes in the class still when they're not used in navigation or celestial observation? I.e., the sun is south of Hawaii, but northeast of Japan at the same time.
Yeah. So this is.
I didn't
the
understand
more
this one, just to
difficult
be clear.
I'm going to explain it. This is the more difficult one to explain without video. So there's a video on the DITRH channel. I think it's also on the Facebook page. Called "Why?" It's called the personal atmospheric dome, and it's how the sun that we see manifests in our reality. So just picture this. Get a sheet pan of water, of soapy water, and put a couple bubbles on it, okay? Right? And you got these bubbles on it, and each person is in the inside, is in the center of that bubble on the ground. And so then take a light above that and move the light across the pan. And what you will see is a little dot of light go over the bubble and go down as the light goes
As
across.
it reflects off of it, right?
Yeah. So the person on the inside is seeing that sun on their personal atmospheric dome. And this can be tested and shown how it does work. And then you have a bubble over here and a bubble over here. Well, it's noon over here and it's early in the morning over here, East Coast, West Coast. As it goes over, it's noon here. Well, the sun's setting over here on this bubble. You can see it yourself. You can do it. You can go around.
Is the sun inside the firmament or outside of it? According to Flat Earth.
What he's saying here, it's outside.
It's outside.
Manifest in your sky. Is it within the structure? Is it in our atmosphere?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
It sure looks like it's within our atmosphere. But again, we can't go there. But again, that's how everybody on the equinox, no matter how far south or north they are, see the sun set to the west and rise to the east. Exactly. Because you're seeing it in your personal atmospheric dome. It works perfectly. Just check out the PAD, Personal Atmospheric Dome. I have a playlist, DITRH YouTube channel, Personal Atmospheric Dome playlist, and you'll start to understand.
Okay, right on. So are we ready for our conclusions, guys?
Well,
are you convinced?
No, I'm not. Well, see, no, I'm not. I can't be convinced of flat Earth. Like he said, I'm admitting it. I'm too far deep into the religion of round Earth. I can't under one conversation.
You said I cannot be convinced of flat Earth.
At this point, I cannot.
Meaning words
not
of
from
power.
not from one conversation. But what you have done is present a compelling argument with plenty of sources and plenty of videos and evidence that we could go look at to take a look at your point of view. Like you said before, and I said I haven't seen these videos. I can't rebut your direct, what you're saying. All I can say is my cursory knowledge of what I have been taught since forever, and rebut with that. But again, this is a very compelling, what you say, and all of it makes sense from, the questions you raise are very compelling questions.
Yeah, definitely. You did a great job.
Here's my
challenge. The challenge is subscribe to the Flat Earth Podcast on SoundCloud or whatever podcast player you have. You can listen at double speed. You guys know about that.
Sure.
We sound twice as smart at that. And if you listen to 10 episodes, you'll be a flat earther. Or if you download
the 10 episode challenge.
If you download the Flat Earth app, you have the suggested video every day. There's a new suggested video, and you can go to the video archives. If you start watching those for 2 weeks, you will be down the Flat Earth rabbit hole.
For the people
out once you're in.
that listen to the podcast, I suggest you go to the YouTube video because the app really looks cool.
I suggest buying the app.
Yeah,
if you get a second, David, I don't know if you're on Facebook or not. You probably are. Try to find our group. It's facebook.com/Surreal Talk Group. Or groups/Surreal Talk Group.
Just send me a link in Skype. I'll do it.
Perfect. I'll do that. I was going to say, post as many links as you want there onto this stuff because
100%.
I don't want anybody, that's part of our thing is I don't want to hide any kind of evidence or maybe not evidence, but part of the argument. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Evidence is a strong word for a lot of stuff, but.
What is the main reason, the one thing that makes you believe the Earth is a ball?
The one thing I would say is many different things, but
What's one thing that makes
day to night makes me think, the thought that the sun is the center of the solar system, we revolve around the sun is what's create day and night.
Right, and the photos I've seen of the rest of the solar system, which I am taking at NASA's at face value that NASA shows me.
Right.
All this evidence.
So we have a video called Day and Night Explained. It's from the YouTube channel Dan Dimensions, who sends up these balloons, and basically he's showing how the electric sun, the plasma field that we call the sun, is exciting the gases in the air. Nitrogen, which is the majority of the atmosphere up there, excites blue, and it lights up the sky. Day and night are just excited plasma fields, and he shows nighttime right next to daytime in a video.
Like how, whenever you see two rivers collide each other and you have two different colors of water, he's basically showing
day and night
that way.
Each other.
Why? I just wonder why we would never see that as the sun sets. We always see a gradient.
By the way, when I've been out on the water on a boat and I'm heading home and it's daylight in front of me and it's nighttime behind me. I've seen it.
Is the two sun theory though? What was that again?
So if you're in the, so getting back to this is a little more difficult, and we don't know what the real sun is, but if you're looking at the sun through your personal atmospheric dome, under certain conditions, you might be able to see through the dome and see the source of that sun, and it'll look like two suns.
That was the
And then
bubble
with all of
analogy
the
you gave, right?
chemtrails and chemicals they're throwing up in the sky, the sun is manifesting in weird positions, and sometimes you see it in two positions. Well, again, we don't know, but the sun is not a burning ball of hydrogen that's been burning for billions of years. You get a ton of hydrogen together and you light it on fire, it's going to explode. It's not going to burn for a billion years steadily, and perfect Goldilocks zone. It's all nonsense. But the sun being an electromagnetic plasma energy source, that makes sense. Here, let me show you something. If you put a grow light next to a plant, it'll grow. The plant will grow, correct?
Correct.
You're hitting it hard.
Now put a fire next to a plant. The plant will shrivel up and die.
Heat, right. It's because it evaporates the water out of the plant.
Right. So the sun is sending electricity, growing these plants.
Electricity.
Versus, it's an electric sun. The sun sends electricity so solar panels can collect that electricity. The whole photon thing is nonsense.
So chlorophyll, electrons, and all that.
No.
Chlorophyll, more like
Chlorophyll
borophyll?
is a real thing, and it's converting energy, and it's
saying
without that
electrical
we're all
energy.
dead. And by the way,
not thermal.
there's too much carbon dioxide. Well, the plants should be really loving that, and they'll produce more oxygen. It's all
So-
That's what's happening.
So I can tell you've fucked these two guys up today because they have very analytical minds. They're really smart. But what I know is people. Okay, and what I'm saying is for this entire thing to be true. So you're right. I don't know that the Earth is round per se, but you're only right in a context where the testimonies of hundreds of thousands of pilots hundreds of thousands of pilots, captains of boats, scientists. NASA employees, government employees, people that do that. You're only right in the context where I have to disregard centuries and even millennia of evidence that this is the way it is. So you're right. I don't know that the Earth is round, but it's only if we disregard the testimonies of every person that's ever flew a plane, every person that's ever sailed a ship, every person that's. Why is that false?
False, because it's like saying teachers they'd all have to be in on it. No, teachers are the ones that can memorize the Rockefeller funded books and regurgitate them perfectly. Then they become the teachers that teach the next generation. Pilots are starting to figure it out. There's many of them, thousands of them. No, some of them are speaking out. Lots of them will not speak out because guess what? You speak out, you lose your job. You're grounded. Your family's going to starve and your kids are going to die.
No, you just get another job. I did that.
Well, no, it's not that. It's not that easy. These guys are lifetime
peasy.
pilots. So on our Facebook page and in the app is a video called "Pilots Speak Out." Okay, and it's where pilots are getting other pilots. They're going, the Earth is flat, and the guy's like, "What do you mean?" And these pilots, they brought globes in the cockpit with them, and they were tracking their flights, and they did it, and it took them a year to reconcile. They're like, "Holy crap, it's flat and it does not spin." The channel name is Paul on the Plane. He destroys satellites. He interviews pilots. That's another podcast, by the way, called Paul on the Plane.
I believe he was in
to
chat.
that. Yeah, Paul on the Plane, Plane. And by the way, airplane, Plane, right? Planet, Plane -T, right? Words have meanings. They hide this shit in front of us, right? They're not air globe, airplane.
Yeah,
But the plane, they don't mean
that's
they don't.
pretty, funny.
It's kind of like how a boat
Earth
planes,
plane.
like when a boat planes on the water. That's kind of more what they're getting at by plane. It's the way a boat skims
Let
across
me ask
the
you a
water.
question. How much would a pilot flying at 550 miles an hour have to nose down to follow the curve of the Earth? And the answer is a mile every 2 minutes. He'd
Really?
have
So
to
he's
nose down a mile every 2 minutes, or the Earth will drop away and he'll be in space in a couple of hours.
So, I mean, yeah, I can't refute that because, like I said, I don't know as much as these two guys do. But what I do know is to keep this a secret with hundreds of thousands of people, for it to be common knowledge that the world is a sphere. You're going to have to silence hundreds of thousands of people. And I just don't buy that. I'm telling you, money talks, brother. Money talks.
Hang on. There's been flat earthers by the way, in the 1800s, I believe there was no globe earthers. The globe earth is a evil deception that was brought to us. Then they divided the world with wars and nonsense, the whole Wild West nonsense. It's all our history is a lie. Okay, they're hiding it, and there was groups of flat earthers. But let me ask you a question: if the internet shut down, electricity shut down, we would never know each other. I wouldn't be able to spread flat Earth beyond my neighborhood at best.
It'd be hardly relevant, honestly, at that point.
Right.
None of it would be. So now that we have instant communication across the plane, we're getting the word out there, and they're seeing it. And then there's people that know, but they're signed. There's people they're compromised. All of the high level officials, they're compromised, and if they ever speak out, they're done. They sign non-disclosure agreements.
What do you mean by done? Like they're going to get killed?
They agree that they can be tortured and killed and jailed and stripped of all of their wealth, and their kids, will die.
Well, I have to admit, even though I agree with Everett that there are some compelling arguments, even if I believed it, I don't know if I'd have the guts you have, David, to go out and tell everybody I did, which may be,
it's nothing short of heresy.
Yeah, there might be a million people that do believe, or millions of people, but I don't know if I'd come out and say it because, I'm in a profession where,
So there you go.
Right.
You're
going to be a lunatic. You're going to be branded a lunatic.
Point. Yeah,
I agree with him that, maybe a lot of people know, but they're not going to come out and say it.
People are afraid to talk.
That makes sense.
And now with YouTube censorship, you can't talk about anything. You try to mention what happened in New Zealand, they'll shut your channel down instantly.
Have you been, David? Have they tried to quash you? Have you been removed from Facebook?
I have. They shut my channel down. I'm very careful about what I put on my channel, but the censorship that has been imposed in the last month is beyond belief. Winston is rolling over in his grave. In 1984, he didn't realize how good he had it.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah, you do. You definitely made some good arguments today, Dave, and we appreciate you coming on.
And you're a great guest. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, definitely. You were very informed. That was good. That was good that it came on, and it was a struggle to be able. You know what I mean?
If we do this again, I guarantee you, I go through nearly everything you've said today, and just
can we set this up for 2 weeks? Can we do another one?
Slow down. All right.
Give us a little time.
You're not ready.
Yeah, I'm not ready.
There's too much for 2 weeks.
Yeah. Give us some
You're
time.
Gonna dig in. You're gonna dig in for a little while. You're gonna go, holy crap.
No, I promise you, I will check out your site.
Hold on.
Listen. Yeah.
Then you're gonna start telling other people in your life about it, and they're gonna shut you down. And you're gonna drop it for a little while, but it's gonna eat you from the inside out, because guess what? You have been officially red pilled. You took the red pill. You're done. There's no going back in the matrix.
I'm going to withhold my opinion until I join the Flat Earth dating site. If it's a bunch of ugly gals on there, I'm sorry, Dave. You're full of it. You're full of it.
Armand can be
They're
bought.
beautiful. I believe it. I believe it.
That's great.
So
That's good stuff.
here's my prediction. At least 2 of you will be at the Flat Earth Convention in Dallas in November. There's a Flat Earth Convention in Dallas.
That might be fun.
In November. And it'll blow you away. It's going to be a huge one this year, I'm predicting.
Oh, sounds like fun.
Yeah.
You may be right on that one.
I don't know. I don't know that I'll be going to Dallas for any
I'm going to
convention.
Dallas at the end
hell?
of May. But
Are you going to Green Bay?
Let's take a road trip. Why not?
Fuck it. I mean, if the 3 of us would go, I'd go with you
oh yeah,
guys.
hell yeah, we could do a show there. That would be
let's
great.
go. Okay.
Meet Dave down there.
When'd you say
Have
this
a drink,
was?
right?
November.
It's November. FE2019.com, I believe, is the website. There'll be links on our Facebook page, the flatearthpodcast.com, on our website. Don't forget the Flat Earth artwork that you guys want for the hoax book. It's on the FE artwork.
Yeah,
page,
when he was showing the hoax book
podcast.
on his cam here, there was illustrations and pictures in there I did not see on simple Google searches for images and stuff like that. So
They're hiding the truth. They do not want this to get out.
Again, if anything, even if I can never be converted over to Flat Earth, I want to see these pictures. I want to see this evidence.
Yeah, me too.
Who doesn't want to read something that could change your whole view? I'm 99% sure this will not compel me to go to your side. But there's a 1% chance. You never fucking know.
Oh, I can definitely be. I'm not going to sit there and say I know for a fact, because I don't.
I've never been in a spaceship.
You know
that
nothing.
it wasn't at a carnival, it cost me 8 tickets.
Easy. He already calls me dumb all the time. Jesus Christ. You see what I got to put up with
You
now?
know less than nothing now.
Right. Now I'm just
Even
functionally.
what you do know is wrong.
So, listen, here's what you got to do, and this is me shamelessly plugging this, but the only reason I'm doing it is
Plug away.
because it will turn you into a flat earther. Get the app.
We'll get
Every
the app.
day, I put short videos
Here, I'm getting
mostly
it right
during
now.
the weekday. Okay, I do short videos during the week and longer videos on the weekend because people have time issues. And if you just watch it, get up in the morning, watch the video and say, oh, okay, and it'll give you something to think about for the day. And you're going. It's called the Flat Earth Sun
and Moon Clock.
Moon and Zodiac
Yeah.
Clock app. There's a bunch of other crappy apps out there that do nothing.
Just bought it.
It does look legit. It really does. The
just
app
bought
looks-
it.
Would that work on iPhone or the iOS and Android?
Verification required.
Yep, iOS and Android.
Okay, good deal. Google phones for people that have those. Will it work on those?
Absolutely.
That's Android.
If you go, it's all in the Google Play Store. So if you can
Good
go to the
deal.
Google Play Store, you're good to go. Okay, and then make sure you put a nice background in there. Go into settings, adjust the background.
I'm going to put a
You'll
rainbow.
love it.
All right.
Hang with me here. I'm putting I'm downloading this app right now. I paid my $2, $3.
It's $2.99.
Yeah, my $3.
No, but it does look legit as hell. Did you make that? Do you do the computer stuff for that or
Now,
what?
you said earlier you spent several $1,000s getting a team.
Oh,
to do
that's
it.
right. That's right. I'm sorry. Yeah, because it looks very nice.
I don't want to sell you short, but goddamn, if you made this yourself, you the man. Because this is cool.
Definitely not the man. But it's in multiple languages. I got it in about 10 different languages. But scroll through the settings, scroll and choose a background. Put in a countdown to the Flat Earth convention or whatever your next important date is.
I have a question for you. Is there anything that could be done, provided evidence to you, or if evidence was provided to refute your main theory, that could bring you back to the globe? Is that a possibility?
Show me curvature. Show me the
Okay.
Earth from space.
What if we were to
Show
put you
me,
on a Soyuz
proof
capsule?
Motion. What's that?
If we were to put you on one of those Russian Soyuz capsules or whatever they're shooting up still these
They're
days.
fake. But
what if
the whole rocket thing? You know what? Did you guys watch Elon Musk shoot his Tesla into space?
Yeah, I had some.
Did you
It
watch
was real
it or did you hear about
suspect.
it?
I just heard about it,
Yeah,
honestly.
suspect.
So you
Come
don't
on.
think that he can hit SpaceX is a thing at all, or you have disagreement with SpaceX too?
Just go and watch the landings of those rockets. They land those two things. Those things weigh multiple tons. They're falling out of the sky, and then a little spit of fire comes out, and it lands upright, perfectly in the center of a bullseye. It's nonsense. And whenever they landed out on a ship, they lose the signal just before it lands. I mean, it's nonsense. Check out if you guys really want to dig in, the best channel.
I would just argue we don't understand the science of it. But
Right, yeah, it's pretty high level math.
Jeranism. Jeranism is a YouTube channel. JERANISM. He does the greatest breakdowns of NASA and all the stuff, and it'll blow you away. He does it full time.
One more question I got for you, David. How I'm saying right now that I'm 99% sure that the Earth is round. Would you say you are 100% sure that the Earth is flat?
No, I'll say I'm 100% sure it's not a rock spinning in space.
So more than it being flat to you is just disproving the common theory of that it's a rock spinning in space. You think we're stationary, and that's more important than even being
Stationary
flat.
and we do not move.
University
What
centric.
if-
Shape doesn't matter. I don't care if it's a triangle.
There we go.
None of
There
that
we go.
matters.
So
None of that
it
matters.
could be a globe, just not moving through space. Your argument is with the movement through space, right?
Here, I'm in the movement of space and planets and everything above us. That's all religious. But the thing is, once you realize that the Earth is flat and enclosed, you realize that it didn't come from when nothing exploded and then it created everything. So then you have to conclude that it was
God.
created. I'm not going to say God. I'm saying it was created. Okay, so there's a creator. All right, that's it. I'm stopping there. You can take that wherever you want. There's a creator. There's a fact. Like you look at a beautiful hardbound textbook with colored pictures and everything in it. Do you think that something exploded and made that, or did somebody create it?
That's a false equivalency,
intelligence?
obviously.
Yeah, but the Earth is, but a human being is a billion times more complicated than
No.
a colored textbook.
It's naive to
right?
think that couldn't happen anywhere else in the universe, because our bodies, like you ain't gonna like this, but the guy on your shirt there, Neil deGrasse Tyson, will tell you that our bodies are made up of the 5 most common elements in the universe. Okay, well, it's short of helium, which is inert to the human body, which meaning it's not going to do anything to you unless all you breathe is helium. We're made up of the most common shit there is. So I don't think it's hard at all to think that.
I'm not getting your
So
point.
you think that mutations happen and create more. Show me an example in life where something mutates and creates something better. Okay,
X-Men, man, read a comic book.
What's that?
I said X-Men, man, read a comic book.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. No, that's a good point. I don't know the last time I've seen on a single, generational level a mutation causing anything worthwhile. That's not how evolution though works though.
It doesn't.
Well, evolution. No, that is how.
Well, that is how it works. But evolution isn't something you see overnight or over centuries.
You can't
Most
observe
mutations are deleterious, but some do afford.
There's a thing called macro evolution and micro, whatever. Where yes, women with long fingers are more attractive to men, so now that's going to happen, and because more men are going to breed with them, or whatever it is. But you don't grow a thumb out of a mutation. The story is we were fish once. Okay, sure. It's nonsense.
Even before that, though, we were just a pile of primordial ooze.
Yeah, and if you believe that, you're a religious zealot.
I got to go with the scientist on this one, man.
Scientists.
Yes.
Wait, by the way, every single missing link fossil that they've had in museums for years and years, and they still teach, have been proven to be frauds. Every single one of them.
I was not aware of that. Were you Australopithecus fraud or
that
Lucy?
Doesn't necessarily mean there's
they're proven, admitted frauds.
Yeah,
right?
but it doesn't necessarily mean that there's no. It doesn't necessarily have to be a missing link. That there was a half ape, half man, etc. That's not what evolution.
No, evolution is not that. We share a common ancestor.
Right,
we share. We're cousins with these people that share a common ancestor of of a monkey. Evolution is not the missing link. We went from here to here to here to here to here. No, it's more like this guy split off into two ways. Here you got this orangutan, chimpanzee. Then this split off into two ways, and we have a common ancestor with monkeys. We weren't monkeys. Never have been.
So it's mitochondrial Eve is what you're talking about.
One of those. I forget the name of it. One of the mitochondrious man or whatever.
Mitochondrial Eve, right?
Whatever. They found a tooth, and they created an entire different race of subhuman out of it, and then they taught that for 40 years or 50 years or whatever it was, and then they found out it was a tooth from a pig.
Science is a bitch sometimes, for sure.
But they don't correct themselves.
That's a big problem with science themselves. Is people get too embarrassed or have retired since that point,
right? And
don't care or have died. Well, that's science for you. Shit doesn't happen overnight. People don't make giant leaps overnight,
right?
Science and scientism, right? We're
scientism,
taught
I like that word.
It's nonsense.
I like that
nonsense,
word.
Guys.
I like that.
Utter nonsense. And if you keep saying, "I can't believe," "I don't want to," "I won't be," you're convincing yourself that because you are what you think.
I admit right now that I've bought into what I've been taught my entire life. Can't help it. Same thing with anybody else. But what I do think is that experiment wise, I think it would be much easier if I had unlimited funds to prove round Earth than it would be flat Earth.
I just looked up the Falcon rocket.
On that same vein, it should be much easier to disprove round Earth.
How much money does NASA get every single day?
Way more than I'll ever have in my life. Way more.
How much?
I don't know. What's their $17 billion last year or something like that?
Their budget, something like that.
58. I think it's 56 or $58 million every single day.
They get a penny on the dollar, I believe, of tax dollars.
And what have they done? They've done nothing.
Not much.
You know what? What would be really cool is
Velcro,
put a camera on the moon. Since
cochlear
the
implants.
side of the moon is rotating in
tons of
lockstep
shit
with the Earth, and film the Earth in real time, and then you can put sponsors on it. They can fund it. It'll be the biggest YouTube stream ever, right? But they can't do that because you can't land on a light that's right in our sky. Tonight, everybody, big moon, watch it light up the clouds and ask yourself how come it's only lighting up the ones right next to it and it's not lighting them all up.
Yeah, technically.
It's the same way if you held a sheet over a lamp. You know what I mean? The cloud being the sheet. That light's not going to shine through to the.
That's not what he's talking about, though. What he's saying is, say you have cloud cover that's say 50% cloud cover. Imagine a checkerboard pattern of clouds.
100%.
What he's saying is the moon shining through. Why are the only the ones right above me am I noticing glowing? But those other clouds that you can't notice glowing are glowing for somebody 5 miles from you away because they are what is between the moon and them.
No, because they're seeing the moon in a different spot. We all see the moon. It manifests. Here's another thing. Ready? Try this. This is going to blow your mind. By the way, this does not prove ball Earth or flat Earth. It proves that what we're seeing in the sky is no proof of anything. Watch the moon. Find the moon when it rises, and it'll be gigantic on the horizon. So,
They say that's
So
an
the
optical
moon,
illusion,
the moon
right?
for me is the moon's actually getting ready to rise. I can see it because right when it comes around the halfway mark, it's going to rise. So when you see the giant moon, right, turn around, bend over, and look at the moon through your legs, and it'll be tiny.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Okay, so look up at the moon and it's large to the eye.
There it is.
If you turn around, bend over, look through your legs. If you don't fall over,
Yeah.
And look through your legs, and the moon will be tiny.
That just looks. All I can see is my ass.
Yeah.
Eric just did that in studio. We'll,
Yeah. But don't fall over, and you won't fall because you're not spinning. But
Objection.
the moon will look
speculation.
tiny. That's because we're not seeing physical things. It's all perception. And when you flip yourself around like that, your brain doesn't know what to do, and it shows you a smaller moon. Just like when you look at the moon and you look at it through your camera, it's tiny. It gets tiny again.
fair.
Yeah.
Again, that's depends on what your aperture of your lens are and your blah blah
But
blah
the
blah blah blah.
aperture of your eyes that also see
Curvature of your lens and yeah.
It's a whole thing. All right, listen. We can go on forever.
I was just going to say the same thing. We've been going 2.5 hours now. This has been fucking great.
Yeah,
Thank you
it
for
has.
coming on, David.
You open to another interview though in a month or two?
That was
Yeah, for sure. Reach out and
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you.
But here's the thing. I'm going to quiz you guys on making sure you watched every video every day. By the way, you get up in
Taking
the morning.
notes.
You want to know what to wear. You got to check the weather. Well, the weather's on the app, right? The weather's right there. So use that for your morning weather.
on it. Normally, I just ask Siri what the weather is for the day, but I'll just start opening that app.
And then there it is. And then you click the video and it comes up. The Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app.
All right.
Okay?
For whatever reason, that did not download for me. I put my info in, and it just went back to showing the thing. But I'm going to get
That's
that
because you're a
shit.
ball earther. It knows.
It's trying to stop me. I don't want to throw out a conspiracy here.
ePlata customer.
Oh,
support.
here it goes again. Thank you, Tony, for ePlata, our sponsor for the day, apparently.
No shit.
Your call.
Sorry, David. We're getting our commercial
Quality
again.
assurance purposes.
Good Lord.
Yeah, they've got to figure that out. That's the commercial interjections, isn't it?
They don't got to figure. This is my laptop. This is my fault somehow that this keeps
Talk
playing.
with an
Wow.
English-speaking
I remember
ePlata
recording this for
customer
Tony a
support
year
agent.
ago.
Hi, Mike.
Press 1.
What are you doing over there?
To talk with a
Yeah.
Spanish-speaking
Sorry, Dave,
ePlata
this is so
customer
embarrassing.
support agent.
Literally breaking this laptop over my leg after this is over for there.
But I just want to say, dude, you did really great. You did excellent. It's obviously it's not your first time that we knew that coming in. Yeah, so I mean, I appreciate you coming in, or well, not coming in because you're not here.
I
But,
had hoped you would have been much more crazy.
right, I was hoping for crazy, and that just wasn't the case, man. I was hoping for really like lunaticish, but that
Yeah.
wasn't it.
Yeah, you have to promise us to, be a little bit more, a little crazier next time, and not so believable.
Here it is, guys. I was you. I did Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole podcast. I refused to look at Flat Earth. I said, there's no way I'm going to be a Flat Earther. And I wouldn't watch a 1-minute video. And then another prominent researcher I was talking to about, it's amazing all this deception that's going on. And she goes, oh, David, it's worse. She goes, I think the earth is flat. And I'm like, are you friggin' kidding me? I just finished banning a
Perfect
dozen
reaction.
people from our Facebook for being so stupid. And she's like, here, watch this. And I believe the video was Mark Sargent's Flat Earth Clues, little short videos, and he was making them at the time. And I think there's 13 clues now. You watch them, you can't answer them. Okay? Go to my Facebook page, theflatearthpodcast.com. Near the top, probably a couple rows down, you got Stranger's Guide to Flat Earth, 21 questions. And Marty leads the Flat Earth, the Ultimate Litmus Test. Watch those. Turn off the TV for a month, okay? And just watch Flat Earth videos. Here's the other problem. YouTube has changed the algorithms. You used to search Flat Earth, and bam, all the stuff would come up. Now, all of the hit pieces come up. Discovery Channel debunks Flat Earth.
Right.
Well, we debunk the crap out of them. One thing, a lot of you guys are going to go look, and you're going to come across the Discovery of the Flat Earth. They have this thing where they go out on a boat, and they have a striped flag, red, yellow, red, white, red, white, red, white. And as they go out, the bottom stripes start disappearing. And they're like, oh, they're disappearing due to curvature, right? But meanwhile, you can see the water beyond the boat. Okay?
Man,
How can
I
you
was
see the water
literally
beyond
just like
the
you
boat
2 years ago.
if it's dropping behind curvature? That's the horizon. It's
Cyclical.
Yeah. It's all when you see something debunking flat Earth, look for the opposite. But the problem is YouTube will not serve it to you.
That's a
YouTube
whole
says
other ball of
they're
worms right
hiding
now with YouTube.
Flat Earth information
Censorship's
and
bad.
9/11 information.
They're hiding all sorts of shit. It's ridiculous.
We pulled our Sandy Hook video off of YouTube strictly because we didn't want that.
Oh no,
that,
your channel would be gone.
Right.
By the way, if you want to find all of the videos that have been deleted off YouTube, stoplookthink.com is a website that has all of that stuff. And soon it's going to have a little feature about a little island south or west or whatever direction of Australia. I don't even want to say the name of it, but something happened there recently,
New Zealand?
and it'll be
it.
completely exposed what happened there.
All right.
Far out. Good
Definitely.
to hear.
Thanks again.
All right,
man,
we're
we
gonna
appreciate
we're
you,
going to
though.
go ahead and end the show. David, thanks for dropping by. Again, I sent you the link to our group. If you get a chance, drop whatever kind of links and stuff you want on there
Yeah,
for
you
our
can put your
listeners to see.
shows, your videos in our group if you want to. That's completely fine. We can
I'm
follow
not going to
that.
go crazy. I just, the flatearthpodcast.com. It's the video page there. That's where, you can find all the information there. You search it on YouTube, you're not going to find it.
Cool. Well, I'd like to describe you now as a friend of the show, man. Thanks again for coming on. If you ever need anything from us, let us know.
Yeah, you guys
And
are great.
We'd love to have you back on again as soon as possible.
Thanks, Dave.
Yep.
All right. Thanks again,
guys.
Dave.
See ya.
See you later. Okay, how do you work this? Perfect.
Yeah, it was pretty
That
good.
was
man.
great.
It was a really good show.
That was a good time. We're still live. By the way, we're still live with the show. We're still
So, what,
recording
you
our
guys,
month.
have final thoughts on all this, or what's going on here?
Again, he was well spoken, way more than I thought he
Definitely,
would be.
but yeah, it was good.
He had his shit together way more than we did. It's hard because the burden of proof is on him, not on us, honestly.
Right.
So
you didn't do any research because you thought
I did plenty of research, but again, like I said before during the show, there's so many different flat Earth theories. It's a smattering of it. You know what I mean? His version of flat Earth could be different from Steve Flat Earther down the road.
Right.
I just appreciated the way he talked about it with knowledge. He was able to come up with videos instantly telling us which to check out.
Definitely.
Well, he's obviously heard just about every argument we've
I mean,
made.
at the end of the
Yeah, it's
day,
not his first
I'm not
rodeo.
accusing him, but he could have found out that flat Earth could be the secret to fucking instant success in podcasting and YouTube. I don't fault him for that, but he seemed to believe what he's talking about.
Yeah, definitely.
So I don't know.
He does have a point that religion may be the wrong word that he uses, but more indoctrination. We've all been taught this. And
I
of
think
course, we accept
religion.
it
I think is a
because it's
perfect
taught.
word. We did an episode on this show called the
Religion of Science.
The religion of science. It's taking the word for things that are in books written by people we've never met, just like the Bible, and the same thing we give Christians and Jews and anybody else shit for all the day long. We do the exact same thing and laugh about when somebody else does it. I don't know. So I get exactly where he's coming from there. If you haven't done it yourself, it's hard to say that what you believe in is not like a religious belief.
Well, I mean, as far as gravity goes, theoretically, it's you take a bowling ball and drop it, it's not going to go up; it's going to go down.
Right.
We
But
attribute that to a
you could say
force
that
we
our
call
beliefs
gravity.
are way easier testable and reproducible than what he's saying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's been thousands and thousands of experiments that we've been able to pretty much see happen and get our.
That's what I said.
reason.
I could tell he shook both you guys because, like I said, you guys are analytical minds. You're smart, so you're really thinking into this. You know what I'm thinking? I know people, and I'm telling you right now, if somebody offered one of these pilots or somebody that's keeping this shit hush hush, a couple $1 million and a way out, they're fucking telling all, dude. I can't
But at the
believe
same time, if
that
the guy had
millions
no-
of people are keeping it under wraps.
And then again, same time with that pilot, if he had no knowledge and somebody offers him a couple $1 million, he's saying whatever somebody
oh yeah,
wants him
no,
to
totally,
say.
I would too. Yeah.
So I mean, I wouldn't say I'm shook. All I'm saying is I had a good conversation with a guy who obviously believed what he says and what he's talking about. I will waste a little bit more time watching these videos. Again, I'm
I didn't put it
99%
as eloquently as he did 2 years ago, did I?
You were kind of an asshole to him, to be honest. Today.
Right. Well,
What was the deal with that?
I mean,
But
you're
I think
never an
that's
asshole
good.
to me, so that's all good.
That has nothing to do with it. He's a guest on our show. We're hosts together
Right.
and brothers. I have that right.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, do you?
we brought this guy on as a guest, and you're pretty standoff with him. I'm just saying.
No,
that's a
I'm
little
just
rude.
I am holding him accountable for what he said. It's
I'm
not
sure
standoffish.
There's plenty of ways to hold somebody accountable without being dickish.
But I'm
No.
sure he's used to that. I mean,
I'm sure he
that's
is
probably
too.
Pretty mild.
But he doesn't have to come from us. We're better than that.
Yes.
Is my thought. We're
We're
better
above
than
that.
that.
I did not call him any names or anything.
Well, no, but I'm sure you were just on the other side going fucking dumbass.
I think you better.
I don't think so.
Play the
Play the what?
The message we got.
Oh no, I'm gonna
yeah.
save that for next time.
Okay, all right.
We got a voicemail
It's
that's
4:50. We got to cut the show. We've been on the air for fucking nearly 3 hours. This is the longest show we've ever did by a margin. Probably 20%
well, we've
longer.
done a bunch of 2, 3, 4 parters that are longer.
In one rip, this is the longest show we've ever done.
Well, how long are we on?
We've been
Almost 3 hours.
almost 3 hours.
Oh, nice.
We're live
Good
right
deal.
around 2. It's 4:50 right now.
Okay.
So I guess
right,
let's
man.
kill it. Thanks everybody for showing up today, hanging out with us for so long. Thanks, David, for bringing around your crew. He had fucking 60 people that he brought along with him.
Triple. Yeah.
So again, thank you for everybody coming with David of you. We appreciate having you here. Armand, thanks again as always.
Armand's out and he's fuck you guys.
Check out all the links that David talked about today. Make sure you check out his podcast. Check out all the other Lineup Media.
Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole, his YouTube channel, and then the Flat Earth podcast, his podcast. So yeah.
Right, check out lineupmedia.fm for all the other podcasts on our network. Check out yoradio.com. Download that app to check out the Rabbit Hole Radio, which is the station I've been working on. You've heard me talk about 100 times.
And as always, download Surreal Talk.
And, subscribe.
No, we don't say that.
Comment,
shit.
like,
Come
subscribe. Yeah. Don't we do that?
No, we're way above that.
Anyway.
We don't do that shit.
All right, guys. Again, thanks for coming out. We'll catch you all next week. And peace, I guess.
Later.
Later.
Good show, man.